Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Murder Church, episode 51 of the Phil Spector murder trial. Yes, we have made it deep. We're going to continue on. Today we have a friend of Lana Clarkson taking the stand, David Shapiro. We're going to see what he's got to say. Welcome in here. Please hit the like, share it out. Let's rock.
Let's rock.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in here. What is up? Good morning. Happy Sunday morning. Welcome to the church. Get in here. Good to see everybody. You see a lot of fine folks already piling in. Let me get a couple of things going. I need to get this chat here. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm not really sure why that happened. Hold on. Oh my, what have I done? Hold on. Oh God in heaven. Hold on. Put the wrong thing in there. Oh God. Everything's what the hell? Oh God in heaven. All right, there we go. Whoa. That was crazy. I just put my own link, my own YouTube link into where the chat. Okay. Good morning. I was up late. I'm ready. I promise. Boom. That's what I was just trying to do, and I totally messed it up. We got to start out with some bells real quick. And a neck crack. Hold on. Let me get a bell in here. Let me get a bell. A bell to start. My eyes are trying to work. Boom. Boom. Bells are in. Shelly's in here giving us a mod. Pokemon hanging and banging. Simi Sharp's coming through. What's up, Simi? Hope you had a great weekend, Kathy. Hope everyone's having a good Christmas and approaching Christmas. We're on Christmas week. BGOG. Oasis Cat. Pammy's in the house. Sheila Duffy, who just got a lot of awesome merch in Ireland. I'd love to see it. She posted that up on the old X machine. If you are on X, please share this out. I just gave it a post. Drew Gambino's in the house this morning. Love to see it. Love to see it, folks. Thank you all so much for being in here. As again, we get ready to go into another episode here this morning. Unbelievable that we've made it this far, but we have. Now we're up to a friend of Lana Clarkson, David Shapiro. We're going to be hanging out with an hour to start out with this morning. Of course, the will is wide open. On Friday, we gave away some stickers. Today, we're going to try to give away some more. The beautiful Publicly Buzzed Murder Church and Meowder Church stickers will be up, and I believe we've already had that thing start off with some folks on Friday night, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just take a look at the old wheel. Oh yeah, we've already got 4 on the new wheel, so we're only 8 away from another Will and a Spinsky, everybody. Love it. Still got some fine folks rolling through this morning, as I can see. Kaylin coming through, Bonnie Bailey coming through, Julie coming through. Welcome in here, everybody. As you come in, find a pew to sit in, take a seat, take a load off, hang out with us here. And that'd be great. Yeah, and if you do get a chance to share, please do so. I didn't put this all over the place. I didn't go share crazy. I was running a little bit late. Maybe I'll start doing it here in a minute. But what we're going to be doing right now, is going to be going into this video.
Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
A little bit. I'm a little bit crazy. And I've been told that I'm also out of my mind. Let's get this set up real quick. Anybody that's not in the Patreon, I've been posting a lot of content on there. Anybody that's keeping up with Prisoner, if you missed the first 3 episodes or any of the future episodes, 4 is still up with Miss Shorty. No, it's down too. That one's going to be going on Patreon as well. So you'd be starting at 5 if you go to the Kick. Episodes 1 through 4 are now about to be on Patreon. 1 through 3 is already on there. The Miss Shorty ep is about to go up, but the last 2 weeks I put up Elvira with Missy Mayhem, and I put up Night of the Demons yesterday with Missy Mayhem. That is exclusive, only Patreon content that you can only access when you are a member there. I believe it's $5 a month or something like that for some extra deets. But yeah, and there's some stuff on there where it comes from the Kick side of things that I can't even post for members on YouTube. So there's a little bit of a perk there. And also, always appreciated. But the members, one thing I've been doing on Feral Fridays, if you don't come through and watch us live on Feral Friday, you're probably not going to get to see it unless you, again, are a Buzz Nation member. I've been also making those private after the fact. We love it. Dizzy's in here also. Dizzy's coming through the mod a little bit this morning. I appreciate Dizzy. All right, guys, let's jump in here. I'm rambling a little bit. I'm sure I will ramble a little bit more. And if I find anything interesting over here to talk about, I'll probably show you.
Please state and spell your first and last name for the record.
Hell yeah,
David
Simi.
Shapiro, D-A-V-I-D.
Oh, nice.
Shapiro,
Yeah, you just won another one
S-C-H-A-P-I-R-O.
last week.
Thank you. You may proceed. Thank you.
I need to get my list going here.
Mr. Shapiro.
I got blocked up by Canada. I have 3 shirts, actually, if I'm not mistaken. At least, yeah, I think 3 that need to go into Canada. So I've kind of just like got those stashed and ready to rock. I believe the Canada stuff mail is ready to rock and roll again. So I'll look into that this week. Probably a bad week where it's Christmas. But yeah, I'm going to be getting back on shipping all this stuff.
Thank you for joining us here this afternoon, and good afternoon to you, sir.
Hi.
You and I have met previously, correct?
Happy birthday.
Yes.
I think I stopped by and paid you a
Pass the
visit
page.
over the holiday, the 4th of July weekend, isn't that right?
Yes.
Or it was the week, maybe, during the week. Okay. And Ms. Tyndall.
Sheila,
accompanied
thanks for
me,
that share.
correctly?
Yes.
Okay, our defense investigator.
Lexi the Law Nerd, always. Thank you for that
Mr.
share.
Shapiro, I want to
Appreciate it, guys.
turn your attention back to the year 2002.
Helps a little
Sometime
guy like
in
me
that
out
year,
over here.
Did you meet a young lady by the name of Ms. Lana Clarkson?
I did.
Okay. And can you tell us approximately when it
I
was
went
that
too
you
deep
met
last
her?
night.
I believe it was around May or June of
Up late,
2002.
drinking.
Okay, so end of spring, just moving into the summer months, is that correct?
Yes.
We got this in
And,
the bag.
we'll
Who's
get
coming?
into when you met her and
I need
how
some
you met her and
coffee.
all that in a moment, but I want to ask a general question first. You met her approximately in May or June of 2002. Did a relationship develop between you and herself?
A friendship, yes.
Yes. Okay. It was a platonic friendship, correct?
Yes.
All right. And how long did that relationship go for?
Until around December, January 2003.
Okay. Well, December of 2000.
January 2003.
Hang on a minute. Let me tell you, we have certain rules in here, one of which is
Sorry.
don't talk at the same time
Oh my
because it's
God, he
very
loves to
difficult
say
for
that
the
to
jury to
people.
hear what we're saying, and
He loves
Diana will
it.
jump out of that chair and strangle both of us. Okay? So it's called sounding, and it's a reporter's worst nightmare. So let me finish, and
It's called not sounding like a cocksucker while you explain literally anything. Rosin. Jesus, mother of God. Kathy Helper coming through here. Pumpkin wants a chance to win some stickers. Pumpkin has been coming through, been giving love. 420 also. Thank you so much, Pumpkin. Love that. Holy shit. And hopefully Pumpkin can win. Pumpkin has been trying and trying and trying, and I don't think Pumpkin has ever pulled this out. Let's give Pumpkin some love. Hopefully Pumpkin can pull it out. And the first person to get on the wheel today is Pumpkin.
I'll let you finish, and it'll make for a clean record, and everybody
Thank you
will
so
hear
much,
fine.
Kathy.
All right?
Yes.
Okay. So I take it from your answer, you met her in May or June of 2002, and the relationship went till either the end of 2002, about December, or the beginning of January
All right,
2003.
yeah, I'm going to go do that.
Is
I'm going to make a
correct?
coffee.
Correct.
I'll be right back.
And during the entire time, as I understand it,
Put on the
this
old
was not
phone
a
here.
romantic relationship, it was a friend relationship, correct?
Correct.
Is platonic a fair word to use to describe you and Miss Clarkson's relationship with one another?
Yes.
Okay. Now,
I know, Ann, but what
if
are
would
you?
Take a moment. Where was it, and under what circumstances did you meet Miss Clarkson?
I met her through a mutual friend who had told me about a project that was going
factual?
on a
Welcome
pilot,
in.
sitcom pilot.
I'll be right back, guys.
So
Let me get a coffee.
A group got together to meet about the project, and
And I'll
she
be right
was
back.
there as
I'm in the
well
chat.
through another mutual friend.
Had you ever seen her before that time?
No, I hadn't.
Had you ever met her before that time?
No.
All right, so this group got together, is that right?
Yes.
Is this what you would call a writers group?
It was a group of writers and performers, yes.
Okay. When you say performers, am I hearing it correctly, such as actors?
Correct.
All right. Take a moment, if you would, and tell the jury what your profession was at that time and what you were doing.
I was a writer, producer for, actually at the time I was mostly in software, trying to get into television writing and production. And this was an opportunity to do some writing and producing with a group of comedians.
Okay. And currently, are you still in that profession?
I'm currently in television production and writing.
Okay. And how many people would you say joined this group at that time when it started?
I would say at the first meeting there were probably about 12 to 15 people.
And that was evenly divided between writers and performers, or was it in different proportions?
A lot of people were writers / performers, and
They wore both hats?
correct.
Okay.
And it was left up in the air as to who would actually be a part of the show and who would be just behind the scenes as writers or producers.
Okay. Briefly, not in great detail, kind of if you could give us the Reader's Digest version, would you tell the jury what the project was?
It was a show called Mismatched, which was a combination sitcom / sketch comedy show.
Okay. And you had this first meeting with these individuals, and was that meeting at one of the group members' homes, I'm assuming?
It was.
Okay, was that here in Los Angeles?
It was in the Valley.
In the San Fernando Valley?
Yes.
Okay, Los Angeles County.
Correct.
Okay. And I think you indicated that there were, was it 15 people, 12, 15 people, something like that?
Correct.
One of which was Miss Clarkson, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to show you a picture, and I'm going to ask you to take a look at it. Jen, could you please help us? In your honor, this has been previously marked. Jen, can you help me? We'll get it. 7 N's.
Sorry.
Wrong again. 7 N's as in Nancy. Okay. And that's now on the screen, and you can see that, can't you?
I can.
Do you see Lana Clarkson in that photo?
I do.
Would you share with us which individual is it?
Furthest,
You only have 2 choices.
furthest on the left.
Okay, indicating your honor furthest on the left, lady in the leopard coat and the red blouse. Yes. Okay. And that's the individual who you've identified as Lana Clarkson who attended this first meeting of this group for this project, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And it was from that point forward, I'm assuming, that the relationship, the platonic relationship, springboarded forward for the next 8 or 9 months, is that correct?
Yes.
And at that first meeting, did you and Miss Clarkson get to know one another?
A little bit. We talked a little bit.
Okay. Why don't you tell the jury how the relationship developed over the next weeks and months?
We spoke briefly about my past experience in theater groups in LA, the Groundlings and Acme Comedy Theater, and after that, maybe a month or so or a couple weeks later, after meeting a couple of times in the group, she had called me and asked about coming over to watch some of her sketch comedy.
Okay. And did she extend you that invitation?
She did.
And eventually, did you take her up on that?
I did.
And where'd you go?
To her place in Venice.
Okay. Did she refer to the place in Venice as a cottage?
She did.
Was that the word she used?
Yes.
So she invited you over to the cottage. And can you pinpoint any better the time? Was that in, say, in May, June, July, August? When was that, as best you can remember?
Honestly, I don't recall it was during the summer, but I couldn't pinpoint exactly.
That's fine.
Whether it was early part of the summer or late.
Okay, summer of '02, correct?
Correct.
So somewhere between June and September, right?
Correct.
All right. How many times did you visit her at the cottage?
Only 2 or 3 times.
Okay. May I have the court's indulgence for a moment, please? And the cottage, it was in Venice, is that right?
Yes, it was.
Could you just kind of tell us a little bit about what it looked like? Was it a very large structure, a small structure?
It was fairly small. It was a main room, kitchen, and then a bedroom.
And I understand Ms. Clarkson had it decorated in a particular theme, is that correct?
Yes, she had she had Marilyn Monroe paintings and pictures, and then she also had a lot of leopard skin, seemed like a theme.
Okay. Once you got to know Ms. Clarkson a little better, she actually talked to you about Marilyn Monroe from time to time, didn't she?
A little bit.
Did she indicate to you in any of those conversations that Marilyn Monroe was in fact her idol?
Yes, she did.
Share with us, if you would, as you got to know Lana, what would the two of you do? Would you, in terms of socializing?
A lot of times just going to movies and dinner, things like that. She also wanted my feedback on her writing and performing and wanted to be a part of working together on different projects, things like that.
Okay, let's go back then to the point where she extends you the invitation. She wants you to come over and look at it. I think you said, if I'm wrong, a sketch work?
Yes,
Okay. And you indicated you accepted the invitation and you went to the cottage, correct?
correct.
And when you got to the cottage, Lana was there?
Yes.
Was anyone else there?
No.
So it was just the two of you?
Yes.
And you went specifically for the purpose of looking at this sketch and giving her feedback, correct?
Yes,
Now, did you look at it?
I did.
It was a video or DVD, wasn't it?
Correct. Yes.
About 30 minutes, 35 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. It had a title, didn't it?
It did, but I don't recall what it was.
All right, well, if I suggested it was called Lana Unleashed, does that ring a bell with you?
Honestly, I don't recall.
Okay, that's fine. And as I understand it, the sketch was a series or a suite of vignettes, is that correct?
Correct.
And how many were there?
I want to say between 8 and 10.
Okay. Did Lana tell you at some point when she showed it to you, did she speak to the cost, the financial cost to produce this to you?
Yes, she did.
What did she tell you about that?
Objection, that would be hearsay.
You want to approach the bench?
Sure.
You know, actually, I'm going to, you don't need to. I'm going to overrule the objection. Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
When the judge says overruled, it means you may answer the question. What did she tell you about this, the cost of producing this?
She told me that she had to borrow quite a lot of money in order to get it. I think she said that someone that she knew in San Francisco had lent her maybe between $30,000 and $40,000 to produce it.
And did she also tell you that she had to pay that money back?
Yes, she did. She said she owed it.
Okay. Did she indicate to you that she had any ability to pay that back?
No, not at the time.
Did it appear to you that that was something that was pressing on her, this financial responsibility of paying back the individual in San
Objection, this
Francisco?
is leading at this point.
Well, at this point, it calls for speculation. The objection is sustained.
Okay, let me rephrase it a different
All
way. Did Lana discuss with you her financial obligation to pay back the individual in San Francisco?
Only to say that she owed it, but that the person was very understanding as far as paying it back.
Between, say, the summer, when you started to get to know her better, well, let me ask you this. How many times do you think you and Lana saw each other face to face over the period of your friendship?
I would say maybe 10 to 15 times. A lot more speaking on the phone, emails, that sort of thing.
That was my next question. You used other forms of communication, didn't you?
Correct.
One of which, of course, was the telephone, right?
Yes.
Is there any way you can estimate how many times you spoke to her on the phone over that 8-9 month period?
I would say we probably spoke every other day or so.
Okay, so it was a lot of phone calls.
Yeah.
And you also availed yourself of email, correct?
Yes.
And I assume there were a lot of emails back and forth during that time.
Yeah, I would say a fair amount.
Okay.
We back, baby. Got me a chicken biscuit in the air fryer.
During
Got me
time-
coffee. Sheesh.
Say from the summer of
Ready to go.
2002.
Gypsy's over here like, what's
up to
even
about
happening?
December 2002.
She.
Did you have discussions with Lana about, well, strike that. Let me finish this first subject, which was, you looked at the sketch.
I wanna
When the
write for
sketch was over
Hollywood.
with, she asked for your impressions, correct?
Yes.
And it was
Got
your
in
intent
there.
to be diplomatic with her, kind
Check.
with her, correct?
Yes.
What was your impression of the sketch?
Objection, it's irrelevant.
overrule just to explain.
Brooklyn, thanks for that
what
share.
it was, and perhaps as a foundation for other questions. You may answer.
It is, thank you, Your Honor.
I felt like it showed range as far as playing different characters. I didn't think it was that funny.
Okay. And you shared that with her, but in a delicate way, is that correct?
Correct.
And her reaction was she was disappointed, correct?
Yes, she was disappointed, but was open to constructive criticism.
Sure, open to constructive criticism, but disappointed in your opinion because she valued your opinion,
Objection.
correct?
Counsel is leading.
Sustained.
Was it your impression that she valued your opinion?
I believe so. Yes.
During this time, did you have discussions with her about depression?
I wouldn't say they were discussions about depression, but she did mention several times that she was feeling a little low, feeling depressed.
What was she depressed about? Did she share it with you?
Mostly about her career.
What did she tell you about her career that led her to be depressed?
I think she felt like
Objection. This calls for speculation.
Sustained. No feelings on your own part, please. What she said is fine.
Thank you, Your Honor. What did she say to you about her career, where it was in terms of depression?
she had said that she felt like she should be further in her career than she was, that she had hoped to land, you know, either one big movie part or one big television series part, and
It's hard.
and become more
Hard
famous
out
than
here
she
in these
was.
streets.
Did she speak to you about this also in terms of the age that she was approaching? She
Oh,
was
damn, Kathy is so fucking kind. Oh my God. Kathy Helper coming through with a $10 Venmo. Thank you so much, Kathy. Dispensary shopping. Oh, huh?
You gotta fight for your right.
To party! Kathy getting on this son of a bitch again. Thank you so much, Kathy. I appreciate that. Let me get you on here real quick. We got Kathy and Pumpkin ready to rock and roll, trying to win some stickers this morning. I think that's up to 6 if I'm not mistaken. Thank you so much.
about to
Kathy
turn
making
40.
it happen
Did she
today.
discuss that subject with you in terms of her age?
I can't recall her speaking
Merry Christmas.
specifically about
Merry Christmas.
about her age in relation to her career, but
Yeah.
that as she got older, it seemed less likely.
She's not really.
Generally.
Should have set it up better, but she's not really
Okay.
hanging out close to the camera right now, Pokemon.
Were you ever in a social setting with Lana where you saw her drink?
Oh, Jippy.
I can't recall her ever drinking specifically. I thought that
This
we
is
got
a
a couple-
friend of Lana, just it said. And, you know, he's kind of explaining that he was trying to break into movies and at some, you know, point met Lana Clarkson.
times, and I hadn't made a note.
Trying to
I know
break
that I
into
drank,
writing
and I
movies.
can't recall if she
Producing.
specifically if she had drank when I was with her.
Okay, so your recollection today is you don't know whether she did or she didn't in your presence.
Correct.
Okay, did you ever say or take any pills in your presence?
No.
Okay.
I got some kind of French vanilla creamer. I
Do
usually
you
do black
remember
coffee.
testifying at the grand jury, sir?
I do.
Okay. And do you remember
Pretty
at the
tasty.
grand jury which took place, I'm not sure, Your Honor, I got 2 dates here on the cover, so I'm going to state them both. It was either Friday, September 10th, or Monday, September 13th, 2004. There's 2 dates here. There should really be one because you only testified on one day, right?
Correct.
All right, so I
Brooklyn,
don't
thank
know
you
which
for
is
that
the correct date, but
share.
It's one of those two, yes?
Appreciate
I remember
that.
testifying. I can't recall.
Okay,
the
you remember there was a deputy district attorney there, like the 2 DAs here, Mr. Dixon, Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
And do you recall? Thank you, Your Honor. I want to give Mr. Dixon.
He's deep in thought, deep in a trance.
Okay. See if they have any objection.
He's looking right at me. Son of a bitch.
Yes. Yes.
Shit, Pam coming through the old Cashapp machine here with $10 for Chicken Biscuit Fun. Thank you so much. They're Jimmy Dean's, the old Jimmy Dean's version, which I love a chicken biscuit. I love a McDonald's chicken biscuit. I love a Hardee's chicken biscuit. I am a kind of a chicken biscuit whore. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll eat a chicken biscuit every day of the week. Pammy, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let's get a little. I keep looking for all my new ones. I haven't gotten completely used to them yet. They're all over the place. Kind of sporadic here.
Hold up.
That's not one of them.
Hold up. Hold up.
But I put a couple of new ones on here. That You Gotta Fight. This one. Which I gotta remember that one for like some time in a trial when shit's getting a little bit wonky, huh?
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
That's a good one. That's a good one, too. And then, of course, the bone crack of just, God in heaven, why? Baby, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I'm going to show
Let me
you
go check on my chicken biscuit.
a portion of a transcript of your testimony at the grand jury back in 2004 in September, okay? And I'm just going to ask you to read it to yourself. And after you've read it, I'm going to ask you some questions, okay? And I'm going to, for the record, direct his attention, Your Honor, to page 735, lines 16 through 21. Okay? Okay?
Yes,
Have you read that?
I did.
Okay. Can I have it back? You don't get to keep this. We don't send you out here with anything. Okay.
We'll get you a complimentary copy if you need.
I'd appreciate it.
He can say that, I can't. Mr. Shapiro, does that refresh your memory that at the grand jury you testified that you believe that she did in fact consume alcohol beverage, but you just weren't sure of what?
It's the evidence.
Without reading it entirely, it does misstate it. You need to
I'll read the whole
context.
thing. Sure. I'm going to read you a question and an answer, okay? And you just tell me whether or not that was your answer at the grand jury, all right? Yes. The question by Mr. Sortino, that was the DA, the Deputy District Attorney at the grand jury. During the times that you went out with Lana, did she ever consume alcohol in your presence? Answer, that's you. I actually don't recall. I believe she did, but I wouldn't say that I can recall precisely what she ordered when we would go out for dinners and stuff. Do you remember providing that answer to that question on either September 10th or September 13th of 2004 at the grand jury?
I believe that was my answer, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Now, I want to return to what we were talking about a moment ago, and that is you were having discussions with her over this period of time from the summer of 2002 up into the end of 2002, beginning of 2003. And you
Oh, there she is. Let me get her over here.
shared with us that you and she did discuss, in fact, her career. And apparently she wasn't pleased with where it was at that point based on what you've told us.
Looks better than Phil Spector.
When she would talk to you about her career, would she ever cry?
She did.
Okay. And did it appear to you to be sincere?
I think so. There was a lot of frustration.
Okay. What do you mean there was a lot of frustration? What do you mean by that?
I think, as I said, she had said that she felt like she should be further along in her career in a different place. And so when she would talk about it, or when I would come for her and say, there's still a lot of time, she would cry.
Okay. You said when I would come for her, you were trying to be supportive as a good friend, right?
Correct.
Okay. And what would she say to you that would bring on these tears about her depression regarding what her career was?
I'm sorry.
What is it that she would say to you that would bring on these tears when she discussed her depression regarding her career with you?
I can't recall specifically. I want to say that the subject was similar to what I was saying before about her feeling like she should be further along in her career, that things hadn't fallen her way.
You used the term, I think, a little earlier in your testimony that she seemed to be frustrated about her career. What did she say or do that made you feel that way?
Again, I think it was just saying that she felt like her career should be further along than it was.
Okay. Was there ever discussions about the subject of money between you and Ms. Clarkson?
Yes.
Tell us about those.
She had spoken a number of times about how she was living very close to the edge as far as her ability to pay for her cottage and pay her regular bills. And at some point she did ask if it would be possible to borrow some money from me.
Did she ever make the statement to you, I really need financial help from you right now?
She said something along those lines. I can't recall specifically if those words were used.
Over what period of the time that you knew her, from the summer of '02, May, June, to the end of '03 or the beginning of the end of '02 or the beginning of '03, over that span of time, was this a subject that came up fairly frequently?
I would say so, yes.
How did she try and borrow money from you?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Okay, I think you indicated she tried to borrow money from you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, would you explain to the jury how that happened?
There were a couple of times when she would just, in small ways, ask, if I felt like taking her out to eat or grabbing a bite. She would sometimes get tickets to Directors Guild screenings, and in return I would take her out for a bite. And then there were other times when she simply asked me if it would be possible to borrow a few $100s to pay her rent.
That actually occurred in conversation as well as in some email transmissions, didn't it?
It did.
Okay. And tell us about that. She wanted to borrow money from you to pay for her rent, and just tell us what happened in that regard.
Originally, she had asked for a little bit of help, and I said, whatever I can do, I'd like to be able to help. Then one day, while we were at a dinner, she asked if she could borrow $600 to pay her rent, and I felt a little bit uncomfortable with that. The next day, we spoke about it a little bit, and I said, it's getting close to the holidays, and that it would be a little bit difficult. And she asked me how much I felt comfortable lending her. I said maybe $200, and she said that would be fine. And I suppose the more I thought about it, the more uncomfortable I felt about the negotiation of talking about how much money she needed to pay her rent or to get her bills paid. And then in the end, I felt a bit uncomfortable about lending her any money, and it became sort of the thing that ended our friendship.
To try to get sex out of her for the money.
Friendship. What do you mean by that?
We just went back and forth by email. She felt like I had betrayed her by not lending her the money, and said that that I wasn't a true friend. And
that's a lot of money.
I'm really sorry you feel that way. I think she was just. I feel like it was a stressful time, and that she was blaming the stress on, or blaming
Jerry?
me not lending her the money on the stress in her life.
But you made the decision not to loan it to her, correct?
I did.
Okay. Did she indicate to you that she wanted to
it's
borrow
cold as hell
money,
here.
Because
So
she
we're
was
at
in
right
fear
now.
of being evicted from the cottage?
She did.
And you said this occurred around Christmas time, is that right?
I would say so, yes.
Christmas 2002.
Correct.
Okay. During the time that you were with Lana,
It
Mr.
is
Shapiro, was there ever an
17
occasion where
degrees
it appeared
here.
to you that Lana had
Right now. And feels like 17. It's cold as...
amount of money?
In what
Oh!
sense?
It's vague. It's vague. Let me withdraw.
Okay.
I know where Mr. Jackson's going. Let me ask you this. When you would go out with Lana, did she ever pay?
Rarely. I think she would, if anything, she would pay for the movie, and then I would pay for a more expensive dinner, things like that.
Okay.
So was there some
You never
sort of
received any
like...
lavish gifts from her, I'm assuming.
Was he trying
No.
to become a
No.
partner?
From your relationship with her, it didn't appear to you that she was leading a lavish lifestyle, correct?
Let's go check on this chicken
No,
biscuit.
she would ask
What's up,
me
CK? Beautiful
about
doggy.
doing things, but most of them were dependent on on me
Me too,
paying
be right
for
back.
it. That the only way that she could afford to do it or to do those things was if I treated.
So she was looking for you to pick up the tab?
Yes.
Okay. Court's indulgence just for a moment, please. Now, you indicated that there were emails that went back and forth between you and Ms. Clarkson. Is that correct?
Correct.
And let's talk about some of those, if we may, for a moment, okay?
Sure.
As I understand it, you turned over some of those emails to the prosecution, isn't that right?
Yes.
And that was done, if I'm incorrect, please let me know, but as I understand, that was long before anybody from the defense got together with you, isn't that right?
Correct.
Okay. So you didn't have your first contact with anybody from the defense side until after you had already turned those emails over.
She's definitely missing her mom,
Correct.
though.
Okay.
She's
And those were
used to,
emails basically
Cassie
between
coming
you and
home.
Lana, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't know what's
I've
going on.
got some of those, Mr. Shapiro, and I'm going to put them up on the screen for us to chat here a little bit about this afternoon, okay?
Okay.
All right. And, Your Honor, the first one I'm going to ask to be put up is an email.
Now, Chip loves to go
and
outside, even when it's like super fucking cold. Like her paws, she can't even walk when she comes in. She loves
These,
it.
the government has these, Your Honor.
My God, Sheila.
And this is bait stamp number for Mr. Dixon and Mr. Jackson's
Michelle, morning.
benefit 747. And this, Your Honor, is an email dated February 13th, 2002 at 2:25 Eastern Daylight, EDT. Okay. That's it. That's it. We're fine. I misspoke. Friday, September 13th, 2002, 2:25 p.m., it looks like. Okay. Let's, well, as you have before, that's perfect.
Oh, thank you. Shit's cold as fuck here. That's even. Wow.
Okay.
Sinead, Dizzy, Sinead, thanks for those
Before you
shares,
polish
guys.
that, could you take it
Really
down? Is that
appreciate
still your
that.
current email address?
It is not.
It's not? Okay. That's fine.
Fluff cam, that's literally what I should call it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Okay. Your Honor, before we start, Jen was kind enough to remind me, this has not been marked yet, and I think we're at O, is it? Okay.
Sextuple O, pardon me.
Sextuple.
Septuple.
Don't say that too loud around this guy.
Okay. So let's take a look at that. The first email comes out at 2:46 p.m., and that's an email from who, Mr. Shapiro?
That's an email from me
Fluff
and
cam.
who's it
to Lana.
And how do you know that?
Her email address.
And her email address is livingdollprod@aol.com?
Correct. Yes.
And did you send her this email?
I did.
Okay. And what does it say?
I'd love to feed you and sketch
Yeah,
with you, but my
Sinead,
hours
thank
are
you.
crazy right
Appreciate
now,
that.
working all day Saturday and Sunday.
Hey, be safe driving.
And I'm not sure I'll be able to do much more than sleep
Morning, Dave.
afterwards.
What's
I'll
up,
try
brother?
and call, though, and maybe we can talk out some ideas on the phone. Miss you, David.
Okay. And that was your email, correct?
It was.
And you got a response from that, didn't you?
Yes. I
Okay.
did.
And Jen, could we have a response, please? Thank you.
Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus. Right down Santa Claus Lane. Right to a stall called Starter.
I'm telling you like it is, baby.
And at 2:25,
Hey, speaking of which, today, this will help me out tremendously. Today, got a wrestling video dropping, 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time on the Wrestle Plunge channel. If you're not following that, I'll first of all understand. It's completely different type of content than here. I do some lives over there randomly, but it's mostly docu-style stories about professional wrestling. But I try to, it's not really about it's usually, this one is a little bit more about the in-ring stuff, but usually it's a backstage story. It's about some kind of personal conflict that some of these wrestlers have had, and I dive in and tell the story, and I try to find stories that are less likely told, or fewer, or most folks don't know. So yeah, 3:45 today on the Wrestle Plunge channel. I'll put the link in here. Got a new one. I've been working hard on it. 2 weeks working on this thing.
On September 13, 2002.
Now, everybody that comes through and shows some love on it,
Well,
that helps me out
yours
tremendously.
was a response.
Gets it moving in the old algorithm.
The other way around.
It is the other way around, exactly. Yours is a response to hers. And this is to you, is that correct?
This is to me.
Okay, that was your old email address?
That was. Yes.
And it's from Living Doll Productions, correct?
It's from, yes.
And that's Lana, right?
Yes.
And what does Lana say to you?
Hey stranger, what's up? How's your pup? How are you digging your new gig? Are you in the mood to feed a starving actress and toss some sketch ideas around tomorrow night? You may already have plans, but I have a little deal I'm working on, and I could really use your fabulous writer's brain power. Got family stuff happening on Saturday and Sunday, so if you're available and game, that'd be cool. Let me know. XO, Miss Lana.
You see the part up there where it says, are you in the mood to feed a starving actress?
Thank you. I try to.
When you read that, what did you think?
I don't think at the time.
I think so too.
I thought about it one way or the other.
Okay. Did she refer to herself as a starving actress on more occasions than this email?
I think that's fair to say, yes.
Gypsy, I don't really know, man. She's like a pity mix. That's all I really know. She has a pity face, like she has the short hair on her face, but her ears are fluffy as hell. Her body's fluffy. Her tail's got long hair on it. Gotta be some kind of collie pity couple that had this girl, honestly. I'm not sure.
Let's take a look at the next email.
Chicken
Your
biscuit.
Honor, this has been previously marked as defendant's triple S.
All right.
Jen, could I have your assistance, please? Thank you. And we need that enlarged.
Hey, later, Jerry. Thanks for popping in, brother. Happy New Year to you, too, if I don't talk to you again.
Thank you.
Now, Phil died of COVID.
This email is dated
Phil died of
October 25th,
COVID.
2002, 4:58 p.m., correct?
Yes, it is.
2022, I think.
Right?
Yes.
And who sent this email?
This was from Lana,
And how do you know that?
from the email address, Living Doll Prod,
And who was it addressed to?
to me, David Shapiro.
And let's read that. What does that say?
Nothing. Wish I was busier with fabulous paid acting work. Tons of follow-up mailings and paperwork to do, but the depression level I'm experiencing due to major financial difficulties makes me extremely spent and worn out. I was to attend that party tonight, and I'm instead going to stay home and veg, watching bad free library movies. I'm looking into other gigs now that the flaky, manic, depressive music guy is no longer an option for an employment. It's tough to find a job these days, period, let alone when you're only qualified to shine, as you so kindly put it. I'm so tired of struggling to eat. Anyway, I'm normally such a happy, positive person. Seems like I'm always in the dumps when you check in. Sorry about that. If for some reason you want to phone, use the cell, as the home will be turned off after 5 p.m. today. Don't work too hard. XO Lana.
This was not a very happy email, was it?
She didn't seem happy in that email.
When you saw here that she said in paragraph 3, I'm so tired of struggling to eat, she had already previously emailed you the month before asking you if you wanted to feed a starving actress, correct?
Yes.
What did that do when you saw those two phrases at the different times like that?
I knew she was struggling as far as, paying her bills and getting, meeting her obligations. And I believe at this point I had said to her that, if you ever need a little bit of help, and in that I was talking about, some money for groceries or something like that, that I would be able to help her.
Money for groceries, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Sure, and that's because you were a good friend, right?
I think so.
Okay, and you wanted to help her in those little ways that you could, correct?
Wow, shut up,
Yes.
Phil. Phil is taking over the fluff cam.
Did you ever discuss with her the fact that she says here she had a depression level that she was experiencing due to major financial difficulties, which was making her feel extremely spent and worn out?
I didn't delve into that specifically. I think generally we spoke about her situation.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I think that kind of leads into the argument that maybe she did off herself because she hadn't made it in Hollywood. She hadn't gotten to where she had wanted to be. And quite frankly, she was really just a B actress getting spots. So, I mean, yeah, that kind of leads into, couldn't she just get another type of job? She did, right? She was working at the Hard Rock Cafe. She was a waitress at this time. And I'm sure that was not very fun for her, especially wanting to be, at the end of the day, more like Marilyn Monroe than not. But,
To you that one of the major financial difficulties was paying the gentleman back in San Francisco $30,000 to $40,000 to make the promo video.
Council's leading.
Sustain.
Did you ever have a discussion with her regarding the debt owed in San Francisco as being one of her major financial difficulties?
Same question. Same objection.
Sustain.
Okay.
It's like, what the hell?
So Lana sent you
Is
this
that
email,
chicken that
correct?
good?
Correct.
And you got it, right?
I did.
And let's take a look at another email if we can. And this would be bait stamp 749. And, Your Honor, this has not been previously marked, so I'm going to ask the court if we can mark it. Defendants next in order, which I would believe would be 7 Ps, correct? Okay. All right. Can we have the bottom one rolled up first, please? All right. Let's take a look at this email, Mr. Shapiro, and let's go through this together. First of all, what is the date?
It's October 25th, 2002.
And the time?
Oh, you couldn't hear me. I'm eating a chicken biscuit, Cassie.
And who sent
What are you
this
doing?
email?
This is
Good morning.
from Lana.
And it was sent to you, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And it starts out with, hey, an addendum to my last message.
It does.
Okay, could you read the rest of it to us, please?
I'm dying to see
Gypsy's
one of my
wanting
favorite
some
movies
food.
of all time, Young Frankenstein, on the big screen. You're probably working, but if on the off chance that you have tomorrow evening off, would you want to take me? It's playing at the Alex Theater in Glendale at 8 p.m. It'll be packed, but you can reserve tickets for $8 per at phone number, website address.
Yeah, you don't have to read that information.
It would be a wonderful escape, and we could eat before or after if you're so inclined. Just a thought. It's been on my calendar for months. Later's, Lana Jean.
She did.
Did you know whether or not her middle name was in fact Jean? Or was it a name she used?
I didn't know.
Okay. So in this email, she's asking if you want to take her out for the evening. Is that correct?
She is.
Okay. And she also indicates in this that it would be a wonderful escape and we could eat before or after if you were so inclined, correct?
She does.
Okay. Did you ever make this state with her or were you tied up?
I didn't.
Okay. You were busy working?
Yes.
That's what I thought. You responded to her in an email 5:48 p.m., which is the one above it. Is that correct?
I'd have to see it, but I believe so. Yes.
Okay. And let's go to the next one.
Just walking the other way now.
The next one, Your Honor, is bait stamp number 750.
And sadly, she can't have any chicken biscuit. I messed her tummy up.
So I would ask that we mark this defendant's Q, 7Q.
So marked.
Okay, thank you. And Jen, with your assistance, can we have that blown up?
Michelle, I wanted to go to CrimeCon after the first year of getting into this kind of space on the internet, but I think I've changed my mind. I don't really give a shit anymore. It would be cool, I guess, but I don't know. It's such a kiss-ass event, and I feel like it'd be mostly just people. I mean, I granted, I would be there networking too. That's 100% what I would be doing, but I just feel like the people would be mostly fake compared to what I would be trying to do. I don't know, man. There's a lot of really shitty people in this space in general, as I'm sure a lot of you folks know, but I don't think I could hold my tongue on some of it. I'd be like, listen, you clearly fucking suck. I don't know. I think I don't want to go anymore, honestly. Okay. I did though.
And the date on this one, Mr.
For a minute.
shows us to be Friday, October 25th, 2002 at 9:42 p.m. Is that correct?
Correct.
And from whom is this email?
It's from Lana.
And to whom is it addressed?
To me, David.
Okay. And could you read that, please?
Managed to talk them into waiting until Monday night. Figured I could at least have a few more days. You never know, I might book some foul part and be whisked off to some exotic locale. Meanwhile, I guess I'll have to bite the bullet and start doing amateur strip contests. Yeehaw. Sad you can't come to see Frankie. It's my favorite. Nighty-night, L.
Okay. Did you see the first part of the email where she says, managed to talk them into waiting until Monday night? Figure I could at least have a few more days, spelled D-A-Z-E?
Yes.
Do you know what she was referring to there?
Yes, in the previous email, she had said something.
That's
about,
pretty sweet. I would like to meet Bob and Allie. Meet Bob and Allie. I mean, that's probably literally it. Honest to God. I can't think of anybody else. I'm probably missing somebody, but
turn off her phone, and when I spoke to her, I guess she had left a message for me, and I said, "Oh, they didn't turn off your phone," and then she mentioned that she got them to hold off a few more days.
Give her a reprieve for a couple of days.
Correct.
Okay. But it was the phone that they were threatening to turn off. Is that right?
I believe so.
And she told you for
Speculation.
Sustained, he's interpreting things which, I mean, he can testify as to what was said in the conversation. He can testify to what the email said. And
Oasis, love to hear it too.
Sure.
You've been amazing around these parts. I love you on here and on X.
Matter of drawing a conclusion.
I understand. Did she say to you, either by way of email or by way of voice, that they were threatening to turn off the phone because she hadn't paid her bill?
I can't quite recall whether she had said her phone.
Jay and
or
Shannon
her
would be
email.
cool, but I don't think they would
believe
probably
it was
ever
her
go.
phone, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. And now let's turn to the last
Jay and
email I want
Shannon.
to review with you. And that is bait stamp number 745 and 746. And Your Honor, this has been previously marked.
I'll have Jay's back forever.
Okay, thank you.
Jen, if I could
Jay's
have
been
your
one of the most loyal people I've ever dealt with in my life.
By the way, Mr. Shapiro, while Jen's helping us out here, let me ask you a question. This is just a sampling of some of the emails, isn't that correct?
It is.
There were certainly more, right?
There was.
Okay. Now, could we have the heading on this first, please, Jen? Just the heading. Okay. And the date on this, sir, shows to be Wednesday, February 5th, 2003
Phil.
at 8 o'clock in the morning. Is that correct?
Morning,
Yes,
Joe.
yes.
And who is this sent to?
That actually is my current email address. But that's it. Sorry.
And it is expensive. That's right.
Thanks.
Yeah, there's definitely some good ones, Michelle. Like, I'm not trying to say that they're all bad, but I think that, you know, if you're around this space long enough, you'll definitely see what I kind of mean. Like, you know, we all grift. I grift on here all the time. I grift to literally pay for my dog's food on this channel every single episode. But like, I'm also not like an actual professional investigator or a former FBI agent or any of these things. I don't know. But with that said, there's plenty of good folks out there and really awesome ones in the community. And I deal with a lot of them. And I always try to pass those folks along if I can. And not that I have any kind of real say or push or one that I can help much with. But I try to push the ones that are genuine human beings, man. Like, as far as I can tell. Like, I think that's what every space needs more of. Real fucking people, man. But I'd love to meet Bob, Allie, Jay and Shannon. Yeah, Jay's been maybe the kindest person I've ever met on the internet. Like, he has been incredible to us here at Publicly Buzzed. He's been amazing. Shannon as well. But yeah, man, I will always have Jay's back. You know, I'd fight for somebody. If I was fighting in the street for that man, he's been an actual brother.
May I approach you on this?
And then a lot of people try to split us up too. Is what's funny. A lot of people try to get in there. They're like, I don't know, to try to start some bullshit. Nah, me and Jay always saw through it. Hey, Cassie, y'all have a great day. Going to do a puzzle with the fam. Hey, you too, Cassie. I hope you feel better also. She's down there and feeling just a little bit under the weather also, which kind of sucks, but she's at the beach right now hanging out. And yeah, I love you, Cassie. Have a great day.
As opposed to that way, so you don't get...
Seagate with a $2 holler. Getting on the wheel, Seagate. Hell yeah, thank you.
May I remain here to question? Thank you. All right, I'm showing you what's been date marked, stamped 745, page number 745. Now, you see the top here, and it shows February 5th, 2003, 8 a.m., correct?
Yes.
And there's an email there between you and Lana, correct?
Correct.
All right. But let's drop down. What we're interested in is the next date. And what is the next date? Jen, you got it up there. Okay, thank you. Okay, what is the next date?
12/8/02, 9:23 p.m.
Okay, December 8th of '02 at 9:23 p.m. Is that correct?
Correct.
Who wrote this email?
That was from Lana
Who'd she send it to?
to myself.
That's awesome, Joe.
Jen, can we
Yeah, he is
publish
on a
that,
mission,
please?
though, right? On Delphi, especially.
Okay. No. Yes. And also what's on the next page, please.
I always run into shit stairs. That's why, I mean, like, I deal with a lot of cool folks,
And-
but man.
Let me take a moment and read this through
Also,
with you.
don't
May
go
I,
as deep
Mr.
as I
Shapiro?
can.
Sure.
And I'll ask you to direct your attention up to
Run
the
into
board.
some,
And
just
as
relax.
you said, it shows the date of December 8th of '02 at 9:23 p.m. So this was in the evening hours, correct?
Yes.
You don't happen to know what December 8th of '02 was, whether it was a Monday or a Tuesday or whatever?
I don't.
Okay.
Oh, that chicken biscuit was freaking
Hi,
good.
Davey.
Those Jimmy
Thanks
Dean's
for the lovely evening
freezer
last
section.
night. I
Air
very much
fryer.
enjoyed your company. And of course, the yummy food, which I wholeheartedly enjoyed yet again this evening.
Super good.
Thank God for it. I feel really bad even taking you up on your offer of a $200 loan. I thought with all the hours you've been working and the fact that you have credit cards, that you were in a
She
much
ran
more
away.
solid position. I certainly wouldn't want to affect your family holiday adversely in any way. If you can do that, that'd be great. I would never have asked had you not offered. I have nowhere else to turn right now, as I mentioned last night. I will most probably have to move from the
One second,
cottage.
right back. Gotta grab
But
one more
this
thing.
small loan will at least help in some way or another. It is very kind of you, and I am sincerely appreciative of that. Call me and let me know how we can connect. Whatever is most convenient for you, obviously. I'm sorry not to telephone tonight, but this way you cannot hear my tears. I am truly at the end of this whole deal. I'm going to tidy up my affairs and chuck it, because it's really all too much for just one girl to bear anymore. Don't worry, not before I pay you back. Sweet dreams, dear friend, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. XO Lana. Is that the email you received from her?
It is.
Okay. It's a sad email, isn't it?
It is.
When you received this, did you feel badly for her as a good friend?
I felt badly and possibly that it was a bit over dramatic.
Okay. But these are the words that she emailed to you. These were her words, correct?
They are.
Council's leading.
No, the fact that those were the words she used, overruled. The answer will stand.
You didn't author these words, did you?
No, I didn't.
Lana did, correct?
Correct.
And I note that this email
came
was sent
back.
on December 8th at 9:23 in the evening, correct?
Correct.
And this was sent subsequent to many of the conversations you had had with her over the summer and into the fall about her depression and her career not being where it should be and her money problems, correct?
Yes.
Just one other brief area.
It's been a doozy. It's been quite interesting, actually. It's long, and I get it, you know, and it's also, it's not one of these that's going to be pulling in a lot of new people here on the channel whatsoever, because, you know, what are you going to jump in on episode 51, video 130? You know, I get it. It's a lot. So if you do find new people along the way, it's hard to keep them. But man, I've found it very interesting, and yeah, we're definitely going to be finishing this.
Was this the last email you received from Lana Clarkson?
Even interesting knowing the outcome. I mean,
I don't believe it was, but I don't believe I had the final email
Okay.
to send.
great.
to
I'm not
the,
even paying that close of attention
prosecution.
on here.
So, as far as we know, this is the last email that you can produce that you got from her, correct?
Correct.
We're not saying it is the last one, but it's the last one that you
What was it
produced
say
for
in
the
the,
prosecution, correct?
Correct.
Court's
Been a little bit
indulgence.
everywhere. Absolutely, Joe. They're lurking now. They are lurking.
Yes.
Lurking.
Nothing further attached to this.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
Is the witness passed?
Are you receiving?
Never heard that before.
Because you don't go to federal court?
Yeah, very good.
Alan
How you
Jackson.
doing, Mr. Shapiro?
Doing well.
Good, good. This won't, I don't think I'll take too awfully long. All these papers, they look more intimidating than they are. A couple of questions about your testimony here this morning. The business in general, the entertainment business in general that you were breaking into back in 2002?
Correct.
Kind of a tough business all the way around, correct?
It is.
I mean, you would consider it someone who's in the business now and has actually gotten your foot in the door, and hopefully it's not getting squashed too much, that it can be a fickle business, yes?
Correct.
There's ups, and when the ups are up, they can be way up, right?
Sure.
And when there's downs, the downs can be way down too, correct?
Yes.
A lot of times people in the entertainment industry don't just go on little wavelengths that bounce up and down like a tide pool. They go way up and way down like a tsunami, correct? It's feast or famine, to use a phrase, correct?
There's highs and lows, yes.
And you've suffered that yourself, as a matter of fact.
I did.
As a matter of fact, in one of the, and I don't want to get too personal about this, your personal life is not really an issue, but just since you're here and you've been in the business, one of the emails that you talked about was in fact suffering at the hands of unemployment yourself at times, correct?
Correct.
And you heard Lana Clarkson, or you read Lana Clarkson say in several of her emails, oh my goodness, you've caught me again, I'm down in the dumps, correct?
Correct.
I mean, you've been down in the dumps yourself, correct?
Sure.
When you're unemployed and you're looking for work and you think, heck, I've got a lot of talent, I've got something that I can offer the industry and nobody's taking a look at me, that can make you a little depressed, right?
I'm getting depressed right now.
Oh, we're going to bust out into some comedy here.
You're the comedy writer, and you're the lawyer. All right. Very, very good.
I don't think Mr.
Oh my God, he's smiling for the love of God. Jesus Christ, he cracks a smile live. The ghoul cracks a smile. Good Lord. Look at him.
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. Doesn't happen often, Mr. Shapiro. Relish the point. All right. Very, very good. All right. The point of the matter is, it is an up and down, back and forth business. Doors can close in your face in an instant. Doors can be opened in an instant.
Yes.
Right? All right. So it was not unusual, I guess, to get to my final point. It was not unusual or uncommon when dealing with someone in the entertainment industry.
Hey, be safe, Sinead.
To talk about that with them in general. Like, what's going on with your career, correct?
Yes.
As a matter of fact, you used to be in the software industry, right?
Yes.
A point of discussion when you're in the
Sinead,
software industry
fill it up that
may
wheel.
not always be, hey, how's the job coming?
Damn, that dude's got a broken arm.
Are
What
you
the
still
hell?
employed? Are you still working in the software industry? That's probably not the water cooler talk, correct?
Correct.
But in the entertainment business, heck, that's all they talk about, right? The two actresses see each other. Hey, have you got a part? Are you employed right now? Are you unemployed? Are you starving? Are you fat? PHAT fat? One or the other, right?
I haven't heard that term, but yes.
All right.
We're two away from a wheel.
This is a
I think
common
AJ was rolling there, and that just kind of came out. I don't know what the
That's
hell
woven through that entire industry, correct?
Yeah, the jobs are much more short term, and so there's a lot more in a job, out of a job, than there is in most other industries, I think.
Right. That having been said, you received several emails from Lana Clarkson. In your estimation, by the way, quite a beautiful woman, yes?
I think so, yes.
Very attractive, statuesque blonde, very striking looking.
Yes.
Probably someone who would be used to getting a lot of attention when she walks into a room, taller
That is
than
true.
a lot of the men in the room, and a statuesque blonde, correct?
Yes.
So when she talked about this frustration level, you could certainly understand that and help put salve on that wound, if you understand what I mean.
I think so, as far as comforting her and telling her that other people have gone through
Yo,
this.
Forrest, morning.
And she's certainly not, in your experience, not the first actress to go through difficult times, highs and lows, correct?
No.
As a matter of fact, in your experience being, you're a writer, yes?
Yes.
And you're employed in the industry right now?
I am.
All right. Congratulations, by the way. In your experience, it's not uncommon to discuss openly those frustrations in hopes that someone will hear it, know that you may be unemployed, and think, you know what, I'm going to give that guy a chance, or I'm going to give that gal a chance, right?
Sure.
I mean, that happens all the time. That's sort of the nature of that industry. Yes?
To let people know what position they're in and hope that, someone's heard of something that might be right for them.
Correct.
Sure.
If you're a lawyer like me, I probably wouldn't walk in a room and go, hey, folks, nice party, and I'm unemployed. But if you're an actor, certainly it would not be uncommon to walk in and say, hey, folks, nice party, can I have a beer? And I'm unemployed. I'm ready for work. Correct?
Not usually in those terms, but I'm looking for something.
All right. When she indicated that she was a starving actress, it's not the first time you've ever heard that phrase, correct?
No.
As a matter of fact, that's a phrase that's tossed around this town quite often, right?
Yes.
I mean, I would bet, most waiters and waitresses that are serving food here in the food industry in Los Angeles, pretty good, healthy number of them are quote-unquote starving actors and actresses, correct?
Correct.
All right. That didn't mean when you received this email, Mr. Shapiro, that you believed that she was literally starving, did you?
No.
You didn't think that,
No.
correct? I mean, literally, she wasn't, you didn't think to yourself, my goodness, she's malnourished and I need to call a doctor.
No.
That's a phrase, right?
Right.
She was inclined toward alliteration in her emails.
All right, I'm going to play it. I got it up over here. Telling me to check out this Broken Baker song here. What do we got? Broken Baker. I did a show with Broken Baker last week, I believe. He was super fun to talk to. And yeah, I know Bob also did a show here. What do we got, Mr. Baker?
Hey, everyone. And just a little thought that I had after watching the YouTubes yesterday. Maybe this is a good thing to remember when you are a creator. No drama. No drama. No drama, llama, no drama.
I can concur, I agree.
YouTube. No drama. No drama. No drama. YouTube. Llama. No drama. Llama. YouTube is a bad place when we argue and we make the drama. No.
I know, that's what I hate. I hate it when everybody's getting all fucking weird.
Merry Christmas, everyone. And remember, just because you don't agree, you don't run other people's channels.
That's the truth. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Yeah, I believe Broken Baker's one of the good ones also. He seems cool. Couldn't agree more.
It's speculation.
No, they exchanged emails. He's able to answer that. I'll allow it.
I think she was given to over dramatics and sort of and describing the situation as, in terms that people knew.
Yeah, I had a good time with the show. I was happy.
Correct.
All right.
Anytime I'm
And that was
getting
sort of
invited to someone's show,
her
I'm
persona,
usually
at
just
least
like,
her
whoa.
written persona when she was talking to you
It
about
happens a
her
lot.
frustrations and things like that, correct?
Correct.
And that was not that uncommon for you?
No.
All right. She indicated in the second email that Mr. and I don't think we need to put him up there. We've all seen him. it'll just take a little extra time. In her second email that Mr. Rosen talked to you about, that started out, remember, nothing, apostrophe?
Yes.
Dot, dot, dot. She talked about some major financial difficulties, etc. And she also indicated that she was normally such a happy and positive person, correct?
Correct.
I mean, and then in the very same sentence, she said, I'm normally a happy and positive person. I'm sorry, David, that you catch me in the dumps every once in a while, right?
Correct.
And when she said, I'm in the dumps every once in a while, that didn't concern you, did it?
That is.
No. I mean, it is what it is. Some people in their lives have high days, get up on the right side of the bed, as they say, and have low days, get up on the wrong side of the bed, correct?
Correct.
Is that how you took that email when she said, hey, look, I'm having some financial difficulties, and I'm normally such a happy person. I'm sorry that you're catching me in a bad mood, or I'm down in the dumps.
Yes.
Okay. So that was not of concern to you either.
No.
Again, it's sort of this written alliteration, this drama, if you will, and I mean nothing pejorative
Use
by
the
that. Just
code
this drama
there. Scan that on your
Clarkson was
phone
given
if
to
you use that
correct?
app.
Yeah, I think she put it
Scanning
out there
codes
as,
to shop.
in hopes of
Should take
being
you to
comforted or being taken for a
PubliclyBuzzed.com.
quick meal, but
Best
nothing
merch store in
serious.
True Crime.
Have you ever heard the phrase high maintenance?
I have.
Okay. And I'm walking on very thin eggshells with these questions. Again, I don't mean anything pejoratively by this. You knew Miss Clarkson, or you had a relationship with Miss Clarkson. She was someone who enjoyed being stroked a little bit, correct?
Correct.
Being taken care of, correct?
Correct.
Being taken care of by her friends, by her family, as you knew.
Correct.
And she liked the fact that you were a good friend, and obviously through some of your emails you can tell that you were very resilient, and when she would get down in the dumps, you would kind of stroke her ego a little bit, correct?
Correct.
And she seemed to like that.
Yes.
And you certainly didn't mind offering that in terms of your friendship for her, correct?
Correct.
So this was not an unusual set of emails that you were receiving and sending, where, for instance, she indicates, I'm normally so happy and positive and upbeat, but you caught me down in the dumps.
No.
All right. And your reaction to that would be, hey, don't worry about it. Everybody goes through this. I know you're frustrated. It'll all be fine. Correct?
Yes.
Something like that. As a matter of fact, you indicated in one of your emails to her, I think the one dated October 25th, 2002, quote, I understand about happy, positive Lana. You started out a paragraph like that. Y'all had talked about the fact that she was so upbeat and so happy and energetic and positive, correct?
Correct.
All right. That's how you knew her. That's how you knew the Lana Clarkson that you were involved in a friendship with, correct?
Yes.
All right. And you indicated, hey.
Damn, Forrest coming through hot. I think we're only one away now, thanks to Forrest. And also, the kindest folks here in the Buzz Nation wants Pokemon on the wheel. Absolutely. Thank you, Forrest. Appreciate that. And yeah, I think we're only one away. Let me make sure I'm not miscounting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I am miscounting. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we're 2 away now. Maybe I miscounted before. Forrest, getting Pokemon on there. Thank you very much. Give me the loot. You're not messing around, son. You know what I'm talking about.
Respect my house.
We do.
Hey, look, I'm in the same boat. If I were still carefree and 24 hours a day and unemployed David, et cetera, et cetera. And what you were referring to, Mr. Shapiro, is in the exact same position that she has. On a different side of the entertainment industry, but in the same position. Unemployed, wake up in the morning, oh God, I gotta look for work again. This is so depressing, et cetera, correct?
Correct.
You were never in your life suicidal, were you, about that fact?
Never.
You were in trouble.
Overruled.
The answer was no. When, as a matter of fact, just to end that last phrase, you may recall this because it's actually kind of a nice way of writing on your part. I'd be over there taking care of you, getting a tan from your shine.
Thanks for the share.
Correct.
I believe so, yes.
Okay, that was your writing to her?
Yes.
All right. And what you were indicating by that, Mr. Shapiro, is very obviously you enjoyed her company. Don't worry about being down in the dumps. We've all been there. I was there. I was unemployed. And if I had time right now, if I was still the carefree David, as you put it, I'd be over there enjoying just being in your company, correct?
Correct.
She was that kind of person.
Yes.
Magnetic personality, energetic, fun, sweet.
Yes.
All right. And again, given to a little drama, correct?
Yes.
Even on cross, I'm going to sustain it. You made that point.
I guess the reason I'm asking that one more time is because I'm coming to another email where Mr. Rosen asked you about her stating something about an amateur strip contest. In other words, meanwhile, I guess I'll have to bite the bullet and start doing amateur strip contests. And then she ends that sentence with the word YEEHAAAA. Diana, that's the first time you've ever put yeehaw in a transcript, isn't it? That it just comes back, doesn't it?
I should have gave it a shot.
He's going to get 30 questions out of that.
Oh, dude, you're not the one to be saying how many questions you're going to be coming out of something, bud. Good Lord. You'll sit up here for 2 hours.
I'm going to have to bite the bullet and start doing amateur strip contests, yeehaw. Now, you, again, did not take her literally, that she was literally going to go down on Sunset Strip and trying to find a job doing strip contests, correct?
I didn't think so.
All right. As a matter of fact, that is another example of this alliteration or this being given to drama or maybe a little exaggeration just to make a point, correct?
Sheila, thank you.
So, yes. All right.
Appreciate that.
As a matter of fact, you had conversations with friends of yours, Mr. Shapiro, about this and about this this last email that Mr. Rosen read to you. And you indicated to your friends.
This morning.
My goodness,
Debbie,
can you believe
here.
this? And this, is, of course, was before Miss Clarkson
Jesse, welcome in here.
died. You indicated, can you believe this? This is another dramatic actress. Look at this.
Only halfway through it.
Yes.
Just a little over halfway.
When you received the email about the I'm going to chuck it. It's all too much for one girl to bear anymore. Don't worry, I'll not before I pay you back.
Oh, Sheila, I
the last
got you.
part,
Pumpkin
don't worry,
for
not
Sheila.
before I pay you back sounds a little bit like she's adding a little humor in there, correct?
I think so, yes.
All right. As a matter of fact, this is yet again another example in your colloquy, your written colloquy with Ms. Clarkson, the fact that she would use phraseology that was dramatic, but interpose it or insert in it some comedy, correct?
I think so, yes.
I'm going to go down and join an amateur strip contest, yeehaw, right?
Right.
Although very frustrated by her finances and obviously frustrated about the loan and the money that she was dealing with at this particular time, she indicated, I'm just going to chuck it. Don't worry, not before I pay you back. You didn't take that as a suicide note, did you?
I didn't.
As a matter of fact, you didn't contact the police.
I didn't.
You didn't pick up a suicide hotline.
No.
You didn't call for any intervention.
No.
You didn't call any of your friends with concerns.
I didn't. I'm not sure. I thought that I had emailed someone, but not about, just more about, look how dramatic she's being.
Right. Look at this actress. This,
Yes.
Look, can you believe this? She's being so dramatic, correct?
Correct.
Not, oh my God, I think this woman's at the end of her rope, she's about to kill herself. There's nothing like that.
Correct.
And during the entire time that you were having this colloquy with Ms. Clarkson, obviously you were getting to know her better and better and better, correct?
Yes.
And when you received this email and you were the one in correspondence with her, Mr. Shapiro, you never considered that this was some call for help, that this was some suicide note, that she was in fact at the end of her rope about to kill herself, did you? You never thought that, did you?
No, I didn't.
All right. You still don't think that today, do you?
I don't.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, redirect.
Yes, please, Your Honor, thanks.
Of course, we have a redirect here by
Mr. Shapiro, you don't know what happened in this case, do you?
I don't.
You don't know Mr. Spector, do you?
I don't.
It's the first time you've ever seen him, correct?
Correct.
Okay, in person.
Correct.
All right.
Consider yourself lucky.
I want to take you through some of the questions that Mr. Jackson asked you on cross-examination. He started his cross-examination of you, sir, here this afternoon, not this morning, by asking you whether or not the entertainment business was a tough business. You recall that?
I do.
Okay. and a very fickle business is the words he used. Do you recall that?
I believe so.
A business that sometimes you have ups or way ups or downs or way downs, correct?
Yes.
In the 9 months, the 8 months that you knew Lana Clarkson, did she ever have a way up? She did she?
Objection, counsel is leading.
The way you asked it was...
I'll rephrase it.
All right.
During the time that you knew Lana Clarkson, was she ever way up?
Other than promising prospects, I don't believe she was way up in anything that came to fruition.
During the time that you knew Lana Clarkson, did she ever land a big role?
No.
Did she ever land any role?
Not that I can recall or that she told me about.
So during the time that you knew her, from the beginning of the summer of 2002 until the beginning of the winter, well, not the beginning of the winter, but winter of 03, January of 03, you did not know her to ever land any job, correct?
Nothing paying other than the prospect of the pilot that we were working on.
And that gets me to the next question, which leads into the subject matter which Mr. Jackson brought up with you, that in the business, in the entertainment business here in Los Angeles, jobs are much more short-term. Remember, Mr. Jackson asked you about that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. During the time that you knew Lana Clarkson, and this question does not include entertainment jobs. We already discussed that. She had them. During the time that you knew her, did Lana Clarkson have...
Objection. To the phrase, to the way the last question was phrased, it misstates the evidence. I would ask that counsel just simply rephrase the question as it is without the...
What misstated the evidence?
That Ms. Clarkson had none with regard to entertainment.
Okay,
any jobs in the entertainment industry.
It's
That's
what he
not
knew.
true.
All right, just rephrase the question.
Okay. Am I correct that you already testified that she had no roles in any entertainment projects during the time you knew her?
That I knew of, no.
All right. Now, put that aside. Now let's talk about just plain old jobs like I have or anyone else has that's not in the entertainment industry, okay?
Yes.
During the time that you knew Lana Clarkson, did she have one job?
The only thing she had told me about was sort of being an assistant to a music guy, like taking him around and driving him, running some errands. But I believe that was short term. I'm not sure that she eventually said that that wasn't going to work out.
Okay. Other than that, did she ever tell you she had any other job during the time that you knew her?
No.
None at all, correct?
I don't believe so, no.
Mr. Jackson asked you about the phrase starving actress and asked you whether or not you took it literally. In other words, was she a starving actress? And you said you didn't, correct?
Correct.
Yet you indicated that you did offer her grocery money, correct?
Yes.
Money for food, right?
Yes.
As a good friend, right?
Yes.
And actually, you didn't offer her grocery money on one occasion. You offered it to her on several occasions, didn't you?
Objection, counsel is leading.
Well, I think he asked at the end, didn't you? I'll allow it. Is that true?
To be clear, I said, if you need $25 or $50 to get you through, I don't think I ever specifically said, I said, I may have at some point said, for groceries or things like that.
And over the 8 or 9 months that you knew her, how many times did you make offers like that to her?
I would say 4 or 5.
All right. I'm not going to flash these up here again. What I'm going to do is just reference certain portions of the emails that have already been published to the jury, okay? And then I want to ask you some questions. In the defendant's septuple O, are you in the mood to feed a starving actress? In defendant's triple S, wish I were busier with fabulous paid acting work. Tons of follow-up mailings and paperwork to do, but the depression level I am experiencing due to major financial difficulties make me feel extremely spent and worn out. I'll stay home and veg, watch bad free library movies tonight. I'm so tired of struggling to eat. Normally, I'm such a happy and positive person. Seems I am always in the dumps when you check in. Would you want to take me for dinner? Defendant P7. Defendants Q7. Meanwhile, guess I'll have to bite the bullet and start doing amateur strip contests. Yee-haw. And finally, triple Q. I have nowhere else to turn right now, as I mentioned last night. I will most probably have to move from the cottage, but this small loan will at least help in some way or another. I'm sorry not to telephone tonight, but this way you cannot hear my tears. I'm truly at the end of this whole deal. I'm going to tidy up my affairs and chuck it because it's really all too much for just one girl to bear anymore. Don't worry, not before I pay you back. Now that's language that I've extracted from all of these emails that I just showed you. Let me ask you something, sir. Have you ever received from any other email correspondent in the entertainment industry a series of emails that contain that kind of language?
Objection, that's irrelevant.
I'll allow it. You may answer.
I don't believe so, no.
Have you ever received emails with that language from any individual not in the entertainment industry?
Objection, again, this is irrelevant.
You know, you asked him questions on cross about how people react to the jobs and what's normal within the industry and even outside the industry. I'm going to allow him to answer.
If you're asking, like, people have said, hey, do you want to take me out? Do you want to go do something?
No, the language that I just read you, have you ever gotten a series of emails from one person with that language from individuals who are not in the entertainment industry?
No.
When you look at all of that language in those various emails, what was your impression?
I believe that she had definitely had some lows, but that she was given to over dramatics, and I felt like sometimes it was a nice way of or trying to get me to take her out or do something with her, and sometimes it was, you know, that she was feeling a little low and needed someone to comfort her and take her out.
Would the word depression be appropriate?
Objection, Council's leading.
No, he asked whether it would be appropriate. He gives him choices. Overruled.
I would say she had moments of depression. Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the door opened.
I believe she had moments of depression.
Would you say that those words, those were her words, correct?
In the emails, correct.
Would you say that those words underlie and would fit the description of depression as you've used it in your prior answer?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Recross.
Yeah, I don't know why the chat's being bitch today.
Thank you, that's all I have.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you for being here. Subject to recall, you're excused at this time.
Shit, where we
All
going
right,
next?
keep in mind the admonition, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be in recess for
Where
10
we
to
going
15
next,
minutes.
folks? Thanks everyone for hanging out. I appreciate it. In the old murder church this morning. All right, next we got 29 minutes with a friend of Lana Clarkson, a different friend, Jennifer Hayes Riedel. Probably butchering that name, but we will see how close I got. Let me first of all get it up in here. Thanks everyone for hanging out this morning. I really appreciate it. I think we're only maybe a name or two away currently from getting a wheel spin this morning, and we know what we're like there, baby. What do we got? Physical wheel is what we have, my friends, that I will spin if we reach that magical 12 donation number. And we almost always hit it, so I have no doubt that we'll probably get right in the ballpark. And if we don't, that carries over to Tuesday night's Murder Church, where I think I'm going to try to get another, I said this last week, another Courtney Clenny stream going. Because I do want to show the one where they threw knives at the pig carcass. And but yeah, we're going to see. I need to do a little bit of legwork this week on that one just to see what I want to do. But let me get this new name in here also. If you're just hanging out back there, hit the old like. That always helps us out here in the Murder Church. And let me spread this out just a little bit. All right, let's go. 30 minutes here with a new witness. Looks like we're going to have Linda Kinney Bodden doing the... Oh, no, wait.
Testimony you may give in the cause now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. I do. Thank you. Please be seated.
See what her name is. Riedel?
Please state
Riedel?
and spell your first and last name for the record.
Jennifer Hayes Riedel.
Riedel! Boom! Right in there! Right in there! Well, yeah, fuck you! Who the hell do you think you are?
Are you crazy?
Are you out of your mind?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
This is gun country.
JENNIFERHAYES-RIEDL.
Merry Christmas, Karen. Thanks for coming through this morning. Hope you're having a great
RIEDL.
weekend.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. How do you prefer to be addressed, ma'am? Is it Miss, Ms., or Mrs.?
Ms., I guess.
Ms.?
Yes.
I'm sorry to hear you.
Ms.
Okay.
I guess.
First of all, I want you to get comfortable. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming this afternoon. You were in the middle of a workday, weren't you?
Yes.
And you came down on short notice, yes?
Yes.
I want to thank you very much.
Thanks, Dizzy.
I apologize.
Yeah, Phil was telling me that also. Yeah, I'm going to look and see exactly where I want to go next with that one. But yeah, we'll probably be doing something Tuesday.
Would you make yourself comfortable? And I think if you pull the microphone, yes, just pull it up and use it like you would a telephone, okay? I know it's a little unusual, a little awkward, but we'll see if that projects your voice a little better, okay? Okay, good afternoon. Let me just tell you a couple of things, just a couple of pointers. In court, when a question is posed to you, if you go like this, or you go like this, Diana can't get it on the record. You have to verbally and speak out and answer the question, okay?
Okay.
All right. And please make sure you speak up nice and loudly. Just kind of pretend like I'm in the back of the room here at the back wall, so you project your voice towards me so that all the jurors can hear you. You seem to have a little bit of a soft voice, okay?
Okay.
There you go.
I really don't have a soft voice.
Well,
For the love of God, you're not making her feel any more comfortable, you fucking weirdo. Just ask her questions. Jesus, mother of God.
Ask my children.
okay. Ms. Hayes, again, thank you for joining us. I want to direct your attention to sometime prior to February 3rd of the year 2003.
He's rock hard.
At that time, did you know an individual by the name of Lana Clarkson?
Yes.
And how long did you know Lana Clarkson as of February 3rd, 2003?
A long time. I came back to the U.S. in 1992. I met her sometime after around 93, I believe.
Okay. You mentioned, you said, I came back to the U.S. Were you living somewhere else?
I was living abroad for about almost 8 years with my husband and my family.
Where was that, in Europe?
London, Tokyo, Hong Kong, and France.
Okay, so Asia and Europe.
Yes.
Okay, you returned to the United States. Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you returned to the United States somewhere in the year 1992, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And then I think you indicated shortly thereafter, in fact, the following year, 1993, you met Lana Clarkson, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And why don't you take a moment and, if you would, explain to the jury how you met Lana and under what circumstances?
I met Lana from my friend Pumpkin
Not a good
Pie.
start.
Okay. Does pumpkin, let me spell it if I may, Your Honor, for Diana. It's Punkin. Second
Pumpkin the cat's getting shouted out right now by this cocksucker.
word pie, P-I-E. Both P's are capitalized. I did spell it right, didn't I?
That's her real name, too. Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't think we've ever known anybody by Pumpkin Pie, but that's later in the trial.
No.
Miss Hayes, you met her through Pumpkin Pie, you say?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And tell us, if you would, briefly, just explain to the jury how you met Pumpkin and then how you got introduced to Lana.
I met Pumpkin in 90. I came back actually at the end of 91. I met Pie at that time at Tattoo. Pie is a club promoter, and I met her at that time. So I met Lana sometime in between the end of 91 to 93. I'm not really sure when exactly I met her, but they were good friends, and I met her at that time. I just can't be really sure at what time in that process I met her.
Okay, I'm going to go back a moment in terms of your answer. I need a little fill in here to help me and the jury. You use the phrase tattoo. Would you?
Tattoo is that?
Wait.
I'm sorry.
There's another rule I forgot to hear. No talking at the same time. Okay? It makes reporters pick up their machines and throw them at you. All right? No talking at the same time. You mentioned the word tattoo. Would you tell the jury what tattoo is?
Tattoo was a dinner club place where they had live music in Beverly Hills that Pi was the manager of / promoter of at the time. And that's where I met Pi. And that was sometime around 92, 91, 92.
Okay. Did you actually meet Pi at Tattoo, the club?
As I recall, yes.
Okay. If you could for a moment, would you explain how Pi would have these events? How did that, what did she do to make this event happen?
Well, at the time, I think she was managing Tattoo. I can't recall, but I met her there on the premises. She didn't recruit anybody to go there. She certainly didn't recruit me. I just remember meeting her there at that time.
Okay.
But since then, she has clubs that she promotes for. So she makes calls to people. She has this incredible list of people that she knows, both in the music industry and, people that she knows around town. And she calls them and she has them come to these various clubs that she puts events on. And they all go to those clubs, and she does events at those particular clubs, and that's what her business is.
And in 1991, 92, when you met her, that's what she was doing, or she was managing Tattoo, one of the two, correct? Or maybe both.
That's where I met her, right.
Okay. And you met Lon at that time, is that right?
A little bit later than when I met Pi, yes.
Okay. I want to show you a couple of photos, if I may, all right? And I want you to tell me if you recognize the folks in these photos, all right?
I think it's just
Jen,
a club,
could we
because this
please
is Los
have,
Angeles.
I think the first
I'm
one
not
is
saying
21.
that probably didn't take place, but I don't think it was just a...
Am I not reading your
Straight up.
handwriting after all these months correctly?
I can find more information.
There we go. Okay, you see the photo up? I do, Your Honor. Thank you very much. And I think the...
R is your next.
Is it R?
Yes.
Thank you very much. R to the seventh power?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Hayes, would you take a look at that photo? And I'm going to ask you to tell us whether or not, first of all, do you recognize the young lady on the right?
That's Lana.
Okay. And do you recognize the young lady on the
I think I found it. If it's still the same thing, I mean, it's in Los Angeles as well. We can dig a little bit further. Dance club, Asian fusion, music venue. I'm going to look up the address also. There we go. It's like party spot. Party spot for people in the know. Oh, of course, we got some homeless dudes that's living right in front of it now. Wish you could, you could just click and go inside. You might be able to, actually. Large nightclub. It does say permanently closed. That might be a different one around the side, though. And it might be closed now, also, if that's, it does appear to be the one. Now it's called the Bellwether. So yeah, maybe Club Tattoo is... It was in the early 90s.
On the left.
As well.
It's a lot younger Pi.
Okay. And could we have 0018 up next, please? Okay. And that photo also... Yes, next in order, which would be S.
Yes.
Okay. And
That's true. That's a good point.
Taking a look at that photo, there's two figures in there, is that correct?
Yes.
And again, on the left, who is that? In the red?
Lana.
I'm sorry, let me finish. In the red?
Oh, it's Lana.
Okay, and
Hey, you were literally done. Good
the young
God, I
lady
can't with
to
this
her
fucking
left,
guy.
our right, holding a glass of something towards the camera. Who's that?
That's Pi.
Is that a younger pie or an older pie?
She's a little older. It looks more like she does now.
Okay. Thank you. You knew Lana from about 1992, 1993 until the time when she was deceased. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
About a decade.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would, how would you describe the metamorphosis of your relationship with Lana and Pi? Because I think we have to include both of them.
Definitely.
All right, would you just take a moment and explain how the relationship between the three of you developed and kind of how the three of you became the Three Musketeers, so to speak?
Well, I mean, we spent a lot of time together. Lana and I shared a similar sense of humor. Lana, as a human, was probably one of the funniest people you'd ever want to meet in your life. And we used to entertain. Lana and I shared a similar sense of humor, so we used to entertain Pi. Pi is a much more, in the daytime, Pi is much more.
Is this responsive? Yes. So far.
The three of us would, especially in the daytime, there was a daytime life and there was a nighttime life. In the daytime life, Pi wasn't married, Lana wasn't married. Pi had her cats. I had my kids, and Lana was the actress, and Pi's life revolved around her cats. She worked at night, and we shared a lot of conversation. So there was a lot of time that we talked on the phone. When Pi's cats got sick, Lana and I would go to the rescue of Pi, and we would spend that time together. And there was a lot that we shared in terms of sharing our personal lives. And, when you get to know somebody on a close level like that, you get to know the inner workings of their life, and that we shared that together. I'm the kind of person that if you're in my life, you're in my life completely. So we all knew what was going on in each other's lives on a very complete level, with our children, with my children, with Pi's cats, and with Lana, and what was going on.
Phil's just sitting there thinking, damn, I could put a gun right in her fucking mouth right now. Nobody'd say nothing.
In her personal life. I spent a lot of time down at Lana's house, in her little tiny house with her brother and her sister. We rode bikes, things like that. So we spent a lot of time together at various points in time.
Time to ask another question.
Thank you,
Karen.
Thank you, Ms. Hayes. Let me ask you this. Did there come a time when you considered Lana and Pi to be your two closest friends?
Ginny coming in hot.
I talked to Pi on the phone every single day. I did not talk to Lana on the phone every single day. I never claimed to be Lana's best friend.
Okay. How close were you to Lana?
I knew a lot about Lana. When Lana would house sit for her friends, Lana would always have me come and spend the night with her or hang out with her, and we would do beauty spa days, so we would hang out like girlfriends.
Did you talk on the phone together?
Yeah. Yes. Sorry.
It's okay. Did you email each other?
No.
Okay, so you would either meet face-to-face in social settings, is that correct?
Definitely.
Did you ever work together with her?
Down at her house, when she was working on her comedy sketches, she would make me come sit down there and work on that comedy sketch with her. So that was something that we did a lot when she was working on that. In the end, she worked on that for a really long time before she ever got into the actual production of it.
Was that the sketch entitled Lana Unleashed?
Yes.
Okay. Spent a lot of time with her on the phone?
The writing of, I'm sorry, can I finish?
Sure, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That the writing of that went on for a very, very long time before she ever got into the production of that. I mean, it really, she wrote that for a long, long time.
Okay. Would you say that you and Lana shared intimate conversations?
Definitely.
Yeah, let me finish my question.
Sorry.
Would it be fair to say that you and Lana shared intimate conversations over the period of your relationship?
Yes.
You mentioned Lana's small house. Did she have a way that she referred to it? Did she have a name for the house that she lived in?
I'm sure she did. I don't remember it.
Did you ever hear her use the word cottage?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Did she refer to the home as a cottage?
Yeah, I've heard her call it that, but I wouldn't have remembered that.
Okay. Where was it?
It was in Venice.
All right.
On the canal.
I'm sorry?
It was on the canal in Venice.
Okay. Was this a very large, multi-story palatial residence, or was it a small residence?
No, it was just itsy-bitsy little one-bedroom, tiny little yellow and green place.
All right. If I showed you some photos up on the screen, might you be able to recognize it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Jen, could we...
That's when Ajax and Ross in a fist fight. That'd be amazing.
Okay. Sorry. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner, I'm gonna go warm my coffee. I'll be right back.
Thank you. Okay, as I was saying, I'm going to show you some photos, and could you please take a look to your left up on the screen, and let's see if we can go through these together, okay?
Don't drink them fast.
Jen, could I please have 3.170?
One second.
Okay. Do you see the scene depicted in this photo?
Yes.
Tell us what that is.
That's the back door near where she used to park her car, where the trailer, Jeff's trailer was.
Who is Jeff?
Her brother.
You say his trailer. What was that?
There was a trailer parked right by that tree right there where Jeff, her brother, used to live.
When you say the tree on the left side of the photo?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes? Okay. So this is the back door.
Yes.
It appears to have some numbers, although I know you can't see it. It looks like it's pretty washed out on that photo, but it appears to have some numbers. May I approach on it?
Yes.
In the photo I have, so I just want to show it to you, and I just want you to look on the door frame on the right side.
Yes.
You see here where, I want to show you here, it's easier for you. Oh, there we go, okay. And it appears to be the numbers.
I'm blind as a bat, sorry.
Here, you right here. Need glasses?
No, I can see better up there, sorry. I think it's, what is that, 3009? Is that what it says?
It looks to me like 3005.
Okay.
Is that, do you know the residence address? Is that it?
No.
No, it's not, or no, you don't know the residence address?
No, I don't, and I never did. I just knew how to get there.
Okay,
It's
but you
off-
recognize it?
Right off Washington, yeah.
Okay. Jen, please, 3.171. Oh, Your Honor, Jen reminded me I have not marked this. I keep forgetting to do that this afternoon. I have a series of the cutters.
Do it right now.
Okay.
First, that one's T.
Okay. T. I have another photo. Do you want me to describe it
Yes.
briefly? Okay, it looks appear to be part of a bathroom.
All right. Septuple U.
And then I have one that looks like to be a bedroom. Septuple V. Okay. And then I have another one which appears to be, all I can say is the interior of a room.
All right. That would be W. Septuple W.
And then I have one that looks to be the bathroom.
X.
And another photo, by the way, for the record, these are all 8 by 10 matte photo pictures. Appears to be, I'm going to call it a living room area. I'll identify it by what appears to be a pink couch.
Y.
And then another photo which looks to be the other side of the room, and I'll identify it with a pink, what appears to be a lounge chair.
Z.
Okay, and then another one which appears to be
Morning,
a
Dixie.
room, and I'll say with a bookshelf and a green, what appears to be folding chair.
Couple A.
I'm sorry?
Couple A.
And finally, Your Honor, another one which appears to be a room with a green patio chair and what looks, and I'll say some white Venetian blinds.
That would be octuple B.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you for reminding me, Jen. Let's just do that. Let's just do that. 3.171, please. Okay. Ms. Hayes, I'm going to ask you to take a look at the scene depicted in this photo. Do you recognize that?
Yes,
And tell us what that is.
it's the bathroom.
Okay. And that's the bathroom at Lana's cottage?
Blow in that
Yes.
bathroom.
All right. I'm assuming you had been to the cottage many times.
Yes.
Okay, and let's take a look at the next one, which is septuple V, as in Victor, please, and it's 3.172. Okay. Do you recognize that particular scene?
Yes.
All right. Jen, I'm going to ask you to please blow up what appears to be either a painting or photograph on the wall.
What even color is that? Is it red? Good God. And it looks like it blends in with, it looks like there's curtains under here and it blends in with, like, Jesus Christ.
Above, well, not directly above the bed, but to the side. Okay. You see that photo?
Yes.
Do you know who that photo was of?
Is that the Maryland photo?
May I approach her? Yes. Ms. Hayes, I'm going to show you the actual pictures here, see if that helps you.
Isn't that the Maryland photo? I can't see. Or is that the Lana photo? I can't.
Jen, can you blow that up a little bit more, please?
Isn't that the Maryland picture?
Well, I can't give you the answer.
I think
You have to give the
it looks
answer.
like the Maryland picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's actually quite a famous photo, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the Maryland picture.
When you say the Maryland picture, you mean Maryland?
Maryland Monroe. Yeah.
Okay. And Jen, could I please have the next one, which is 3.173, and Your Honor, for the record, 7 W's. Okay. Do you recognize the scene in that photo?
Do I recognize the scene? That's in that in the corner of a room?
Okay. Is that another? May I ask you this? Is that another shot of a different portion of the bedroom?
The corner of a room right there?
What you're looking at, yes.
Right.
I'm asking you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck
So
you're
that
asking
would be
either.
the other side of the previous picture that you just looked at that had the bed in it?
Right, with the closet right there.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
And
Help us get there.
there appears to be a photo on the wall. There appears to be a photo on the nightstand.
No, she's got pictures of Maryland all over the place. That was her idol.
That saves us a lot of questions. Thank you.
Yeah.
A lot of questions.
Cut to the
Well,
chase,
no.
yeah.
Cut to the
Got
chase.
pictures
Guarantee
of
it fucking
Maryland
won't.
everywhere.
I get accused of my colleagues by having a lot of
No, cut
foreplay
to the chase. She has
questions.
pictures of Maryland
Jesus
all over
Christ.
the
Even his
place.
colleagues hate him.
Yeah.
Like, don't you think you should, like, just fucking ask a question? A lot of foreplay question. That's the only foreplay you're probably getting in your life, Rosin. Rosen? I don't even know your fucking name. I just mix between Rosin and Rosen because I forget. You suck.
Could we please have the next one up, Jen, and that would be 3.174.
My least favorite of
Your Honor, that's X to the 7th
Is that what you're
power.
getting at?
That's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm just a little slow, that's
Okay.
all. Okay, do you recognize the scene in that photo?
What did you ask me? I'm sorry.
Did you recognize the scene in that photo? The one that's up on the board now?
Yeah, that's in there, that's the kitchen
Okay.
with the horrible toaster oven that never worked.
Okay.
Dude, that's
There
how I
appears to be
feel like that for a
something on the freezer door. It looks like a lot of paint, some things. and
No,
also-
it was the word thing, those word puzzle thingy.
Okay. And there appear to be some photos on the refrigerator.
Maryland, more Maryland. I'm sorry.
We don't talk at the same time. There appear to be some photos on the refrigerator door. Who are those photos of?
Well, there's one of Maryland,
Okay,
and I don't know what the rest are, sorry.
that's all right. And the next photo, which is identified as 3.176, and for the record, Your Honor, Y to the 7th power.
Elvis, John Wayne, all those classic Americana type stars.
Okay, do you see that?
Yes.
Where is that in the cottage?
That's in the living room that faces out to the
I
canal.
have to have them. It was my mom's. I mean, you know, I took it when we moved out of the last place she was living, and I've just got it down in the basement. But I have a large amount of Elvis stuff. Let's just say that.
And there appeared to be a very large photo.
Yeah, no, I noticed
or
that too,
painting.
Dixie.
I'm
Those
not
were
sure.
fucking
Maybe it's a lithograph or a serigraph. It's on the wall there. All we can see are what appears to be some red lips and some yellow hair and a nose and a
Bringing
chin.
it in. Keep in mind, this guy was claiming to be her BFF, but Lana's mom didn't even know her name.
Were you familiar with that?
Yeah, it's kind of like a Warhol-ish kind of Maryland thingy.
One thing I would say to that is, like, just where they're older, honestly, like, you know, I didn't really talk to my parents about, like, people who were truly BFFs or whatever in my life. But, I mean, women are different, too, you know, and I don't know the relationships you have with their mom.
Again, Marilyn Monroe?
Yes.
Okay.
Really good point.
Is the object to the left, it appears to be a reflection. Is that a mirror on the wall? Where we see it?
The mirror, you mean behind the sofa?
Correct.
I don't know, I can't remember, but it looks like it is.
Okay. And the next photo, 3.177, which is
The
also
yellow
your
goes hard,
honor,
too. And that
Z to the
green.
seventh power.
Good God,
And looking up in the left-hand corner of this photo, is that
even the fucking
further
couch and chair.
a picture of the Warholish looking painting that you just described,
That's the same painting that you just saw before.
but a little bit different angle?
Right.
And what is this here that we're looking at?
That is the front door that goes right out onto the steps, that goes right out onto the canal.
So the front door is on the right where we see the silver handle?
Right.
Okay, and that's the remainder of the living room area opposite where the couch is?
Right, and then over to the right was where her computer was, over facing where that chair is facing the opposite side of the room was where her computer was.
All right, I think we're going to get to that in not this photo, but the next one. Jen, may I please have 3.178? And for the record, Your Honor, that is octuple A? Is that correct? Okay.
We've gotten past the sextuples. Octuples.
3.178. There we go. Would you take a look at that? And where is that?
That's the Elvis.
That's
For sure. That's the
opposite side of
Elvis.
that room.
I want you to take a look at the bookshelf.
So much Maryland.
On the, and counting from the
Just see
bottom.
two books.
Okay.
Oh, you guys can't see it. Hold on, let me move this big fucking head of Phil Fuckface real quick. There, 2 books of Maryland down here.
Here to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shelves. Is that right?
Yes.
Right. If you look at the end of each shelf, can you tell me
There's
where the
another one.
photograph is for the first
Can't
shelf,
tell
which is
that
at the bottom?
Maryland.
Oh, down here is another Maryland.
They're all Maryland. Okay. And again, Maryland Monroe,
Yeah,
correct?
my mom also had a lot of Maryland stuff. Like,
I understand. And the last and final photo of the cottage, 3.179, which is octuple B. Could we please have that, Jen?
dude, hell yeah. Ain't nothing but a handball. Rock all the time.
You asking me a question?
Ain't no friend.
Not yet. If you can just hang on one. Don't worry, he will.
I knew it was coming.
It's only Tuesday. We have 2 more days to go. Okay, what part of the room is that?
That's that same corner that looks out onto the canal.
Okay, and is that the computer in the middle of the screen that you were talking about?
Yes.
All right, thanks, Jen. Okay. Ms. Hayes, before I go any further, I want to ask you a question. Are you here voluntarily, or were you subpoenaed?
I was subpoenaed.
Okay, by whom?
I'm also here voluntarily. I wanted to tell the truth.
Okay, and who subpoenaed you?
You did.
Okay, it's the defense side subpoenaed you, correct? I didn't personally hand you a subpoena, did I?
No, you didn't.
Okay,
But
the
defense
investigator.
did, right.
Okay, very good. All right, I want to turn to a different area now, if I may. You indicated that you helped her with the video, Lana Unleashed, correct?
A little bit.
Okay. Did you see the completed piece?
Yes.
Okay. It was about 30, 35 minutes, as I understood.
It was long. Yeah, I don't know exactly how long it was.
All right. Did you see it?
Yes.
And when you saw it, what did you say to Lana?
Well, she didn't ask me. She asked me what I thought, and what she really asked me was, would I help her get it to people? She didn't ask me what I thought. She asked me, would I help her take it to people?
Okay.
And I said that I would do that I would help.
All right. On that note, we'll take our recess.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring you in because we have a half day tomorrow. Whatever one of you is doing, I'm not sure, but I know that we're not going to be here in the afternoon. We're going to start at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. All right? Keep in mind the admonition. We'll resume at 9 o'clock. You're to return at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
See what we
Court, we'll go with Mr. Jackson. Mr. Dixon, please.
All right.
Thanks everyone for hanging out.
Yes, thank you. Your Honor, as I understand it, maybe Mr. Plord will help me here, but I think I have it. As I understand it, there has been a question raised by the government in this case regarding a possible exhibit in this case, which may be coming through a witness later in the defense.
Your Honor, could the witness, I'm sorry, could the witness be asked to step out of the courtroom? I don't know if this is in
Not related.
reference.
It's not related, but it's not a problem.
I don't know if it is or not.
I see that.
Thank you.
I think that's kind of where they're going. Right? Idolized her.
I have been told that there are
And she's kind of talked about how she feels, like a kindred spirit to her. They were kind of on the same trajectory, to at least in her own eyes, right? So I mean,
allegations by the government that there has been counterfeiting and falsification of certain exhibits.
So much
Okay.
was going on.
I don't know if the court wants me to just...
I know it's as far as I know, it's all over the internet and whatnot.
Okay.
Yes.
And we are going to ask the court for an order, because we have to get an order from the court, because as I understand it, it's in clerk's custody down in the bowels of the Hall of the Records.
Just submit an order. You don't even have to do that in open court. Just submit
Okay,
an
I
order.
didn't know, and we just need to get an order so we can get in there tomorrow.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Good night.
Fiddler also hates him. You can just tell. He hates his guts. He hates him. Hour and a half. Let's do it. We'll continue here, part 2, with her testimony. Keep on rocking and rolling. Let's see where we're at. We got to be right there to Will. Where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're one away from a Will here this morning. As we get into the noon hour here on the East Coast. And we're going to keep on hustling here for just a little while, folks. Thanks for hanging out at Murder Church this morning. I really appreciate it.
All right, ma'am. You're still under oath. Would you state your name for the record?
Jennifer Hayes Wheeler.
Thank you. You may proceed when ready.
Good morning, Ms. Hayes.
Old Elvis, man.
And
wants to
welcome
sing.
back. Thank you for coming again. Okay. I think when we left off yesterday, one of the areas, and I don't know if we left off exactly at this area, but one of the areas I wanted to talk to you about was you indicated that Lana had asked for your advice and your, hang on here a second. Here we go. Asked for your advice and your assistance in terms of the video that she had prepared, correct?
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, could you tell us a little bit about, do you have any information how she financed that?
Well, if she's indicated, and I think it's coming to the record already, I'll allow the question as a basic question, and we'll see where it goes, and overrule.
Thank you. It's just a foundation question. Do you know how she financed that video?
Yes.
Okay, what did she tell you about that?
She had some friends that had helped her finance it. I know that she had several people that helped her finance it.
And did she tell you whether or not she had to pay those people back? She owed them the money for the financing?
I actually don't know if she had to pay them back or not.
Okay. Do you know how much money she borrowed to get it done? Did she tell you?
No, I don't.
Okay. And you looked at the video, didn't you?
Yes.
Did you, in fact, help her to try and place it?
I actually did talk to some people about helping her, yes.
Okay. And did it get placed?
No.
And why was that?
Objection, that calls for conclusive speculation.
Well, let me ask it this way. In terms of the people you talked to try and get it placed, did it get placed?
No.
Okay. And do you know why?
Same objection.
Sustained.
Okay. Let's take a turn here and go and discuss.
Oh, now for something completely different. Ohio woman accused of trying to steal a Christmas tree by hiding it in her vagina. Tonight, only on Publicly Buzzed.
Another area. During the time that you knew Lana, it was a number of years, correct?
Yes.
How many years would you say it was?
I knew Lana a long time. I met Lana roundabout maybe 94, end of 94.
Wake anybody up out there?
95, somewhere around there.
Okay, so about 8 years?
Is that a yes?
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's okay, yeah. Uh-huhs and
It doesn't work. I know that.
Well, it works. We know what you mean, but it doesn't come out on the record.
My father complains about that. Yes.
Okay, about 8 years. During that time, you would describe yourself as a very close friend of hers, correct?
Yes, we knew intimate details about each other's lives, yes.
My question to you is this. During that same period of time, how many roles did Lana land in the entertainment industry that would have been considered big roles?
She did a lot of commercials in that time, so that I knew of. She did a lot of commercial work in that time.
Okay.
That was the majority of the work that she did.
Did she ever have a regular job like, say, you and I have?
Not that I know of, no.
Right?
Okay. By the way, what is your profession?
I'm an interior designer. I do remodeling work, mostly residential.
And
I'm a mother.
And that's more than a full-time job.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially with my children.
I've been there. Single parenting is not the easiest thing to do.
You have no idea.
Oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, God.
The judge well knows.
I have daughters.
I've had to have trials recess early to get to soccer games. Okay. At any rate, let's get back to the subject here. So, during this time, you did not know her to have any regular jobs, but she did do some commercial work. Is that correct?
Yes.
Towards 2002 and moving into 2003, what was her financial situation?
Jefferson Wax Foundation.
Overruled. I think if someone knows someone, she can offer an opinion as to what she believes her financial situation was. I'll allow it.
That year, I was pregnant with my youngest daughter, and I talked to Lana on the phone mostly that year. I wasn't going out that year, so I have a lot of recollection of talking to her mostly on the phone. I wasn't going out at night, so that was my relationship with her mostly that year. She was in dire financial straits that year, as I recall.
Okay, what did she say to you, or what did she show you that led you to make the statement that she was in dire financial straits?
Well, I mean, she needed money a lot that year. I mean, she was complaining about not having money for food. She was complaining about not being able to pay her rent, and that was what her problems were that year.
What did she say to you?
Just that. She needed money for food and for rent. I mean, that was something that she was worried about on a regular basis.
And she expressed that to you?
Yes. I mean, she expressed that to everybody.
You didn't think she was joking, did you? Did you take her seriously when she said that?
It's not something you joke about.
So you took her seriously.
Of course.
So she had a difficult financial time, as you're saying. What about the fact that at this time, did she speak to you about the fact of her friends getting married and having children?
Yes.
How did that impact her? What did she say?
Well, that's something we talked about a lot. I mean, that's something that a lot of friends talk about. I mean, particularly Lana. I mean, she always liked children. Lana loved children. That's something that was part of our relationship in particular. That's why we were friends. She hung around my children, and part of our entire relationship was that. She loved my kids. We spent a lot of time together. You know, she loved being around kids. That's something that she wanted.
What did she say to you about not having that, not having a marriage and not having children?
Well, that's something that she missed. That's something that she thought that she would have had by then.
Okay. Did that contribute to depression? Her depression?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's something that she would have thought she would have had by then. That's something that she thought that would have happened at that point.
And at that time, 2002, moving into the early months of 2003, did she chat with you and talk with you about whether she was satisfied with where her career was at that time?
Definitely.
What did she say to you about that? Share with us. Tell the jury what she told you about that.
Well, I mean, in particular, the job that she had to take, she was, in particular, she was at my house at one point after I had my daughter. She was in my house when she had already taken the job at the House of Blues. She came over to borrow some clothes. And she had come over to borrow, she needed to borrow a bunch of clothes. She needed black clothes because she had to wear a certain uniform, per se, to work at the House of Blues. And she had, when she came over, this binder with her that was like a manual, I guess, that had all of the regulations for the House of Blues, and she was complaining that it was all very corporate, and it had the rules and regulations that she needed to study, and she kept saying that it was so corporate there, and she was complaining that that for, I guess, $9 an hour. She had to work for $9 an hour or thereabouts, and she couldn't even pay her bills with that, but she had to take that job. And it was really hard for her to work there because she had to pull out chairs for people that she had beaten out rolls for at one point in her career. And that was very, very hard for her. She was crying and saying that it was so humiliating for her to have to do that. And it was hard for her.
So she was very upset about that.
She was humiliated, but Lana had a game face. Lana would always, 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 no matter what, she would always pull her bootstraps up. She would always, whenever she saw you, make the best of any situation. She could always make you believe that she was happy and that she was proud, because she was like that. She would always look beautiful and get herself dressed up and make herself look perfect for any situation. She was perfect like that.
So she could, as you say, to borrow your phrase, she could put on a game face no matter how bad things were.
She was an actress. She could get herself ready and walk into work and do the best job she could do.
You were, apparently, as you say, you were very close to her. Were you able to see that game face when she would put it on versus when she didn't have the game face on and would talk to you as a close friend?
Yeah, well, when she came to my house that night, she was, laying on this couch. She made me watch that tape again. That she came over to show me that tape again, to get me to see it, to see if I could help her. That was the purpose of her coming over. One, to borrow clothes. B, to get me to watch that tape again to see if I could get her to, get it to somebody else. And then we were just talking, and she came over to see the baby. She hadn't seen the baby. Baby was, I don't remember how old the baby was at that point, but and then we were talking, and it was hard. I mean, she was crying. It was a tough thing.
Let me ask you this. I just want to return to the tape for one moment. You indicated you were not successful in placing it, correct?
Well, the people that I showed it to weren't interested in it.
I'm sorry?
The people that I showed it to weren't interested in it, but I didn't want to hurt her feelings when I told her that.
ultimately, she found out that really nobody was interested in it, isn't that correct?
Yes.
Calls for hearsay.
That is not necessarily hearsay. If nobody is accepting the tape, it seems to me to be a reasonable question. I'm going to allow the question and the answer. I believe the answer was yes. Move to your next question.
Thank you, Aaron. And the next question is, what did she tell you about that when she did not get it received very well?
What she did tell me was she told me the story about when she went to the agency and they made her cry.
Did she tell you how they made her cry?
They told her, yeah, she told me that she had taken it to the agency and that they told her that it really wasn't, I forget how they worded it. It's been a long time and a lot's happened in my life since then, but they told her that when she went to the agency, I can't remember exactly how they worded it. It's in my statement. But she had gone to the agency and they had had a meeting, and it's in my statement. I can't remember exactly how they worded it, but that she had taken it to an agency and that it was not well received, and that they had hurt her feelings and she was crying about it, and that she had left the meeting crying.
Okay. If I showed you a copy of your statement, might it refresh your memory?
Yes.
Okay. May I show it to council first?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes, I'm going to show you a portion of your statement given on December 28th of 2005. And I'm just going to ask you to read it to yourself. Don't read it out loud, just read it to yourself, okay? And I'm particularly pointing you to where it says number 2, okay?
Okay.
If you just read that short paragraph.
Right.
Have you completed reading that?
Yes.
May I have it back, please? Okay, does that refresh your memory?
Yes.
Okay, could you now tell us, please?
Right, that's it. They told her that it wasn't quality work. She did tell me that, and she said that, I mean, she was horrified. She was absolutely horrified. She was really hopeful that it would get picked up. She was hoping, you know, her whole thing was that she wanted to do sketch comedy. You know, like I said before, Lana was a hysterically funny person. She was a naturally funny person, but, you know, she wanted to be a stand-up comic. She wanted to do, you know, Saturday Night Live type stuff, and she was hoping that that's what it was going to turn into, and it just ended up not being received that way from at least the people that, you know, I showed it to. So, and I think she was finding out that that's what was happening, at least from the people that I showed it to.
I understand. And what agency was it that she indicated she took it to?
It was either CAA or Endeavor or ICM. I can't remember which.
Okay, those are 3 of the big agencies here in town?
Right.
Okay. Let's talk about another area for a moment, please. I would assume, because the 2 of you were such good friends, that you shared stories that were intimate. Is that a fair statement?
Definitely.
Did Lana share with you any of her experiences with gentlemen?
Definitely.
Relevancy. Why is this going into her?
It goes to her state of mind at the time of this incident, which is to me relevant. It goes to the defense. It's either direct or circumstantial evidence of her state of mind. So with that in mind, if that's an objection, it's overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor. You may answer the question.
I'm sorry, could you ask it again?
Could I have it reread, Your Honor? I'm sorry.
Something about gentlemen. The question was, did she give you any intimate stories about gentlemen?
Yes.
Phrased it.
That's it. Thank you. Did she speak with you about men relationships that she had?
Definitely.
Did she speak with you about an individual by the name of L.B. Moon?
Yes.
And
what time?
I'm going to let. That's my next question. That's my very next question. I know the court is concerned. Was this discussion that she had with you about Mr. Moon, did this take place towards the end of 2002, from the middle to the end?
Yes. I mean, we've had many discussions about LB. Yes.
Okay. Was this a gentleman that Ms. Clarkson told you she had met?
Yes.
Okay. And did she indicate to you that she had started a relationship with him?
Yes.
When did she meet Mr. Moon?
This apparently is somewhere between the 2002, the middle part or latter part of 2002 and 2003. That's why I asked Mr. Rosen the question to make sure we're in a relevant period of time. All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
Always has that scowl on his face.
Did she tell you that relationship worked out?
No, it didn't work out.
What did that do to her? What did she tell you?
She was very upset about it.
And when did it end? When did she talk to you about the fact that the relationship did not work out?
I'm not exactly sure when it ended. It didn't work out though.
Okay.
Well, Jackson, relevancy motion to strike, we don't know when it ended. Why is it relevant?
Can you say whether this took place during the latter portion of
Yes.
2002? All right, the
Yes.
objection is overruled.
Thank you.
But it definitely did not work out. She was very upset about it.
Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know about the wheel, I have a physical wheel that we spin. Always got some random folks lurking back there, and if we get 12 names on this wheel, we'll give a spin and give away some stickers here this morning. I think we're one spin away right now, but any maybe lurkers back there that are unfamiliar with the wheel, I'll let you know.
She thought it was going to work out, and it did not, and she was very, very upset about it.
Let's get into
Was she depressed over it?
Yes, extremely.
When you say
She thought it was the one, and it was not, and she was very upset about it.
okay. Let me turn your attention now to another situation.
Morning,
Oh, wait,
Jessica.
let me ask one last follow-up question.
10 months.
Did Lana tell you that she was hopeful that
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Jessica. Thanks for coming in
Mr.
here.
Moon would be the
streaming
man that
today?
would wind up being her husband and she would have a family and children with him?
Absolutely, she thought he was the one.
And did she tell you, was it he that broke up with her or she that broke up with him?
She didn't break up with him.
So he left her.
It just did not work out. She was hoping he would be the one, yes, and it didn't work out, and she was very upset about it.
Let's turn to another area if we could.
I think I did. Oh, my bad. I
you
think
knew
we do
that
have a
Lana
wheel.
was an
Sorry about
actress,
that.
correct?
Hell yeah,
Yes.
Bonnie. Thank you.
Did you ever have any discussions
my
or
bad.
talks with her about her training in terms of her acting career?
Did I ever have any discussion?
did
Did I
you ever
recall- did I know she was formally trained?
Well, formally or informally, did she ever tell you how she acquired her acting skills?
I don't remember
Dude,
those
hell
right
yeah.
now.
Sorry about
Okay,
that.
did she ever talk to you or tell you about being trained in the use of weapons
shit.
when she
Yes.
was involved in the
Jessica.
entertainment industry?
Yes, I know that she was trained.
What did she tell you?
I'm sure you're following Jessica,
I
man.
know that
YouTube
she had
piano
had training
chick,
because
though.
she had worked on some movies where she had to use guns, so I know that she had had weapon training.
Okay. And do you know what kind of weapons?
Handguns, I know that. And I know that she used to go shooting at the Beverly Hills Gun Club. I know that.
Okay. She told you that?
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever go with her?
No.
But she told you she went.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. So Christmas stream for Jessica.
As I understand it, Lana
Hey, I need to
has
get
some-
another Jessica stream going, actually. I want to get another, probably be a cult type vibe. I know she listens to this podcast and she gets deep into that. And yeah, that would be a cool one. We were talking about something recently. I was like, man, that'd be a good one. Yeah, we would get another one up here with Jessica on here. Hang on.
physical injuries. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Okay. She had problems with her wrist. Did you know about that?
Yes.
Why don't you take a moment and share with the jury what happened as far as her explaining to you how her wrist got injured?
She had been at a party at some friend Arthur and Rhea's house over the holidays, and she...
Excuse me, I don't mean to be rude. Arthur and Rhea who?
I don't know Arthur and Rhea's last name. I know who they are. She was at some friend's house over the holidays, and they had some children, and there was a rug, an area rug, and she was dancing with some children, and she had slipped on a rug and broke her wrists. And she had injured herself very badly. So she had severe injuries with both of her wrists. She broke them. She had been in sling for a very, very long time. So she had severe injuries to her wrists.
Did she have problems with other parts of her?
I had my wrist broken by some son of a bitch. We were outside my grandma's house. We were playing a little wrestling. All right. The name of the game was the first person to throw the other person into a ditch. The person that got thrown into the ditch lost. The person that threw the other person into the ditch won. Like an idiot, I turned my back on this guy. And if I remember correctly, we were pretty young. I think I was in like 3rd or 4th grade. So, I mean, pretty young. But I think we kind of called a truce, you know. Neither one of us were going to win this match. Couldn't get the other person into a ditch. I turned my back on this individual, a neighbor. His name was Josh. Let's just call him Josh, because that's his fucking name. Son of a bitch. I don't know what he did. I don't know if he drop kicked me, threw me, hit me, but I ended up in the fucking ditch head first with my arm underneath me like this. Broke my fucking wrist, that son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch!
And then, I didn't want my grandma to know. I don't want to tell anybody about this. It hurt like hell, as you can imagine. So I don't want to tell anybody, so I go home, you know. I'm acting normal. You know, I take a bath that night, eat some food, go to bed. I slept all night long. I didn't tell nobody. I get up the next morning. Luckily, my uncle had come in that night, all right? My grandma's son. So he sees that morning that I can't properly tie my shoes. I'm just like sort of, you know, throwing the laces. He's like, what the hell's going on? And again, I'm not telling anybody because I don't want to tell my grandma what had happened. She's not going to let me go and go back outside is what I feared. So I'm like, I don't know. It hurts and I can't tie my shoes. So they take me to the doctor and broken wrist in 2 spots. And what's crazy is living in dumb country bumfuck town that I lived in, the doctor didn't just give me a cast for a broken wrist up to here, you know, something normal you'd see with children. No, just a little normal cast. No, he gave me a cast up to my shoulder for a broken wrist. Never forget that son of a bitch pushing me.
Her body also?
She had problems
We
with
got a
other
will,
parts
baby.
of her body?
You know, like her knees or her back or her arms or anything like that.
I don't know about that.
We're coming for you, Josh.
Okay. May I have the court's indulgence just for a moment?
Yes.
Do you remember in the same interview of December 28th with the defense investigator talking about other possible injuries or other possible problems that she had with her body?
Yes, you may.
I'll never forget how big the cast was, though. All the way up to my freaking shoulder. Even when I was done, like, my uncle's like, what the hell? You have a broken wrist, but
You remember having
an entire arm?
Ms. Kendall?
Yes.
Okay.
You could have stopped the elbow so I could still bend
If I
my
showed you a
elbow.
portion of that report, might it refresh your memories to anything you might have discussed with her regarding other ailments that she may have had in her body?
I don't know about other parts of her body that had injuries.
No, I understand. I'm just saying if I showed you the report where you were interviewed, might it refresh your memory?
You can show it to me, sure.
If it won't refresh your memory, if she says it's not going to, that she has, that there's no use showing her the
Well, let
benefit.
me ask the question then. Thank you.
All right.
Might it refresh your memory?
It might.
All right, now you may approach.
Could you just read this? Just read it to yourself right here, this part.
Okay.
Does that
Are you
refresh your memory?
crazy?
Okay.
Are you out of your mind?
And could you tell us, please, what other parts of her body that she complained to you about that she had problems with?
Her back and her knees.
Did you ever see her take any kind of medication for these ailments?
Definitely, I've seen her take medication.
What was she taking?
Vicodin, Percocet. I've seen her take a lot of pills.
Did you ever have the opportunity in all the 8 years that you knew, the approximate 8 years that you knew Lana, did you ever have an opportunity to spend social time with her, party time with her?
A lot.
Okay. Did you get an opportunity to be in situations with her where alcohol was served?
A lot.
Did you ever see her drink alcohol?
A lot.
Please tell us what you observed. In particular, just tell us what you observed, please.
Jackson Davis, the time of
It's only relevant as it goes to specific time periods, so you have to direct your questions.
Sure, let me do this. You knew her
Gone
from the
wood for sure,
mid-90s to February 3rd of 03, okay?
That's good.
Let's focus on, say, from 2002 2001, 2002, okay? During that time, did you have the opportunity to observe her drink alcohol?
At least once or twice a week.
What was her beverage of choice?
Lana loved champagne and Lana loved tequila.
Were you ever in her presence when she consumed champagne and or tequila?
Yes.
And did she ever consume it to excess?
Yes.
And what was she like when she
Maybe
would
I want a party,
drink a lot of
huh?
that, either
You
champagne
don't know me.
or tequila or both?
You gotta fight for your right.
Very controlling.
What do you mean?
Very, very loud.
What do you mean by very controlling?
Lana liked to arrange things and control people and arrange the situation, and she'd get very boisterous, and she's fun. I mean, Lana's very fun.
Okay. And was this something that was unusual, or is this something that occurred on a regular basis?
No, it's not unusual.
Wait, I got a table. When you were out socializing with her?
Jackson Big, what are we talking about that's unusual? I don't think that's clear. The drinking or the fun or?
Be more specific in your
Sure.
question.
The consumption of the alcohol that you said was to excess. That's what I'm talking
Huge.
about. Was that something
So
that was
big now.
unusual, or was that something that occurred frequently when you folks would be out together?
Massive.
No, it's not unusual, and the excess, it would go from like 0 to extreme on a regular basis.
As a matter of fact, you mentioned earlier that you were pregnant with your daughter in the year 2002, correct?
I had her in 2002, so it was 2001 to 2002.
Before you had her, did you have a baby shower?
Yes, I did.
Where was that?
It was in Santa Monica, and I can't remember the name of the place, but it was on Ocean Boulevard in Santa Monica.
Okay. Was it a daytime event?
Yes.
Around the noon hour?
It was actually like in the mid-afternoon,
Okay.
like 2 o'clock.
Did you have guests there?
It was my parents and some girlfriends.
Okay. Was one of the girlfriends that you had there Lana?
Yes.
Okay.
Pumpkin pie and Lana.
I was going to say, and was pumpkin pie there also?
Yes.
Okay. And how long did the event go for?
It was a couple hours.
Okay. Your Honor, I have what appears to be a 5x7 glossy photo. It appears to be a bunch of young ladies at a table, and I've shown it to counsel.
Yeah.
I do not have a copy because it was just presented to me. That's all I have. So I'd like to mark that defendant's next in order.
Couple C.
Your Honor, we're going to have to use the Elmo because we do not have time to scan it into the computer.
Okay.
Mr. Rose and my children were there too. Those are my children in that picture as well.
Okay. I intend to publish this on the screen. Do you have a preference that I don't put the picture up, the portion of your children?
That's fine.
Is it okay?
Sure.
All right.
I thought that's what she was saying. My children's in it, so don't do it. And he's like actually being halfway decent for a change and asking. And she's like, oh, no, that's fine. That's cool. I'd be freaked out. Dude, as big as this trial was, oh, no thank you. Oh, my kids in this shit. Even if it is just a picture, like people are.
Let's do the first. I think we put something on top. Does that help? All right. Can we blow that up, please? While Sudi's helping us here, let me ask you a couple of questions.
Literally use all of them.
You indicated that Lana was there, is that right?
Yes.
How many people, including your children, were at the baby shower?
Looks like
If you guys look very closely, you can see her little tongue sticking out. Look at her little tongue right there. Look at her little tongue. Look at her little tongue. Look at her little tongue. Look at it. That little tongue.
about a dozen, maybe 13, 14.
Okay. Were you drinking any alcohol that day?
No.
You were pregnant, right?
Labor, actually.
More than pregnant,
I was
huh?
miserable.
Okay. Was anyone else drinking alcohol that day at the event?
No, only one person was.
I love the tongue.
Lana.
Okay.
Gotta love the tongue.
Can you see the picture now? I'm sorry, I know it's not very good. Can the jurors see that okay? It's not so good. Your Honor, maybe what I could do is...
Here, I'll tell you what, we'll turn down the lights momentarily, just for a second. No, that doesn't really help.
Okay. Oh, well, it's not good over here at all, is it? Judge, can I do this? Can I have...
What's the point of this picture? Explain it.
That'll be fine. Okay, thank you so much. Looking at the photo, and I don't know what it looks like from the witness stand. I just walked by the jury box. It's very difficult to see it. Do you see Lana in the photo?
If you turn the lights up, you can actually see better.
I gave you a laser pointer.
You know what? Let me make a suggestion. The jury really can't see it. You're going to show it to them. I've given you permission. Take the picture, show it to the witness.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Let me show you the picture, Ms. Hayes, and this has been marked as defendant's C octuple. Do you recognize the scene depicted in that photo?
Yes.
Okay, and what does that scene show?
Gypsy. It's the gypsy girl.
A bunch of women and my daughter and Lana and pumpkin pie.
Okay, are you in the picture?
Yes, I am, at the end of the table.
Okay, indicating for the record, Your Honor, pointing to the individual at the end of the table.
And Lana's...
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Wait for a question.
Sorry.
And when you indicated your daughter, you pointed to the young lady at the far left of the picture, correct? In front of the brick wall?
Next to pumpkin pie, yes.
Okay. I was going to say, and the lady next to your daughter?
Is pumpkin pie.
Indicating, Your Honor, a female in a green top.
All right.
And do you see Lana in the photo?
Yes, I do. Lana's wearing a leopard jacket with the slings. Her arms were in slings at the time.
Was that because of the wrist problem?
Yes.
Okay. And how is her hair?
She's in braids.
Okay. And what was her condition at your baby shower?
Her arms were really hurting her that day. She was on painkillers.
Okay. Did she have anything to drink?
Yes.
What was she drinking?
Margaritas.
Okay. Do you know how many she had that day?
A lot.
Is there?
How would you describe her inebriation that day?
She was kind of drunk. She was not, she was drunk, actually.
Okay. Could I have the photo roll, please? Court's permission.
You may pass it around to the jury.
Parallel search.
Did you ever know her to drink and take pills at the same time?
Yes.
And tell us about that, would you please? What did you see?
She actually liked to drink and take pills. That was something she did quite often.
Did she do that in your presence?
Yes.
In the year 2002?
Yes.
How would she?
Like I'm trying to search pumpkin pie, the person, and I only am getting. And it sounds like you're wanting a great pumpkin pie. Here's some great bakeries in Los Angeles.
She would drink and take pills in combination.
She was belligerent.
Okay. And did this happen with any degree of frequency when you were with her?
Yes.
Jackson Big.
Well,
The objection is overruled.
Found it.
You'll have an opportunity.
Pumpkin Irene Elizabeth Laughlin, better known as Pumpkin Pie. Grok got me there. You can all kind of see it. She was a key defense witness during Phil Spector's trial, so we should see her. Here's what we know. Background: Pumpkin Pie was a friend of Lana Clarkson, the actress killed in Phil Spector's mansion in 2003. She was known in Hollywood as a club promoter and had ties to the entertainment scene, having worked at various nightclubs in Los Angeles, like we're kind of hearing here. Trial testimony, it doesn't matter, I guess. During the trial, Laughlin testified in Spector's defense, claiming that Clarkson was depressed and suicidal before her death, which supported the defense's argument. I don't want to go too much further than that because we're watching.
To cross-examine the witness.
So you would socialize with her in public places, is that correct?
All the time.
Okay. You would go to places like restaurants, bars, clubs, things of that nature?
There was a particular, because Pumpkin Pie had these clubs that she did, that's where Lana and I would see each other mostly. That was Pumpkin Pie's business, so that's where Lana and I saw each other mostly.
Okay, and when you would see her at these clubs, were there instances when she would drink and take pills?
Well, that's where she would drink mostly. I mean, that's where the occasion where we'd see each other, and that was what you do there.
Okay. Did you ever see Lana in any of these situations do anything with, say, either a wine bottle or a champagne bottle or anything of that nature?
Objection big as the pond.
We're in the year 2002.
Well, that's not the point I think we need to approach.
Okay. Did Lana ever have conversations with you about the importance of fame to her?
Yes.
What did she tell you?
But that was what she wanted more than anything.
What did she say?
That she wanted to be famous more than anything.
Okay. Was this a single conversation, or did this happen on a frequent basis?
No, that was her thing. She wanted to be famous more than anything. She always talked about it.
Did she ever discuss that in relationship to the fact that she was coming up on her 40th birthday?
I mean, getting old was not something she was excited about. I mean, that's something that we all talked about.
None of us are.
I mean, come on.
But as my dad used to say, the other choice isn't so good either. So let me ask you this. What would she talk to you about? What would she say to you about this?
Well, I mean, you know, Lana talked about, you know, in terms of acting, you know, she always talked about the fact that, you know, in an actress's life, you know, she talked about the fact that, you know, getting older, and she talked about the life of an actress and, you know, being famous, and she talked about her career in the past, and, you know, she talked about all that sort of thing, you know, in terms of, you know, the benchmarks of an actress and her life, you know, in that respect. But it wasn't like any one single conversation, you know, where she talked about, oh, my life today. And
I understand. It was a series of conversations.
Well, I mean, it's not like one single, like she sits you down and has a conversation about, you know, her life as an actress. I mean, just in passing, talks about, you know, what she wanted to be famous.
Did she have concerns about the fact that she was getting older and she was turning 40?
Well, I mean, a lot of her life was about being famous. So she was always hopeful that she was going to, you know, Lana really thought that she was going to get that job. She really didn't. It's not like she ever gave up hope that it was going to happen for her. I don't think Lana ever did give up hope that it was going to happen.
She never did get that job, did she?
No, but I think she really thought that she might.
Okay.
He wants to come up there so bad. He's like, can I question her? Phil wants to question.
May I have the court's indulgence just for one moment, please? You indicated that she had hope. Did you ever determine from conversation with her that she was losing the hope rapidly?
Yeah, she had it. She had it. She was exhausted.
Okay. Just one final area. I want to focus in now on the very end of 2002 and the beginning of 2003, okay? You've told us in your testimony here today and yesterday that apparently she had a lot of disappointments in her life, correct?
Yes.
The situation didn't work out with Mr. Moon, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. The video that she put so much of her heart and soul into was rejected, and she was treated terribly by the people that rejected it?
Yes.
She had an ongoing, continuing financial problems, correct?
Yes.
Difficulty in feeding herself?
Yes.
She was not married, she had no children?
Yes.
Her career was not where she had hoped it would have been at that point, is that correct?
Right.
And she was getting older?
Yes.
She was consuming alcohol, she was taking pills, is that a fair statement?
Yes, I think men was the biggest problem.
Okay. When we're now at the end of 2002, January of 2003, could you please tell the jury what you saw in Lana in terms of her state of mind.
Objection, that calls for a conclusion.
Well, it doesn't necessarily call for a conclusion, but it's way overbroad.
Okay,
You're going to have to
let me
focus
narrow
it
it.
in.
I'll narrow it. During that period of time, did you see Lana Clarkson?
Yes, I did.
Did you speak with her?
Yes, I
Did
did.
you see her in various settings?
Yes, I did.
Did she speak with you about her state of mind at that time?
Yes, I did. Yes, she did.
And what did she tell you?
What did she tell me, or what was going on?
What did she tell you? If she said something about her state of mind, what was it she said?
I told you she was at my house. And I told you she was crying her eyes out. And I told you she was depressed, and she was absolutely out of her mind depressed. She was crying and said she'd had it. Those were her exact words. She had had it. She said, I've had it. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I can't believe I'm doing this job for $9 an hour. It's completely corporate. You could never do it. It's horrible. I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm borrowing clothes from my friends to work at a $9 an hour job, pulling out chairs for people I used to beat out jobs for. It's horrible. I can't believe I'm doing this. I mean, how much more explicit can you be?
Would you say that in your...
I mean, it's an embarrassing thing, right? Like, she never did fully actually make it in Hollywood, is the thing with Lana Clarkson. And after a certain point, this is just the sad fact about it, especially for women. For men too, but especially for women. Once you hit a certain age, you age out of these other roles, and they want to make you along the lines of a mother or something like that. And then, you know, those roles will also dry up. But she never even really got over into being an A-list actor, period. She was in B movies. She was in commercials. She had appearances on television shows, some bigger shows and some bigger films, but always just like a cameo or eye candy in these. She was never really taken seriously as an actress.
opinion, having known her for 8 years, was the lowest you ever saw her?
It's got to be embarrassing.
Objection, that calls for a conclusion.
Well, she can testify. The question is, in the 8
That's
years
all you're
that she
doing,
saw her, did
right?
she
That's
appear to
what
be
she had
the
any other
lowest
education
in
to
that
fall back
period of
on?
time? She may answer that.
Absolutely. She was sobbing her eyes out. She didn't have kids. She didn't have money. She didn't have food to eat. She couldn't pay her rent. She was sobbing her eyes out. How much more depressed can you be? She was said it with her own, mouth, sobbing. No money, no anything. It was horrible. I mean, what do you say to somebody like that? She made me watch her tape. Can you help me? Can you help me? I mean, that was the whole point of her being there. She didn't have clothes to wear to work, to a $9 an hour job.
Yeah, but it would be even worse to be Alana Clarkson, though. Like, she was right at the cusp. She worked with people that was A-list and did make it. She walked red carpets with A-list celebs and probably was convincing herself that she was part of this elite group of folks when she really wasn't. Like, it really would have been way worse for Lana Clarkson.
What do you say to somebody like that? It's your friend.
Just mentally.
I just had a baby. She's over at my house watching me with my...
at a restaurant, and now she, like they said right there, she's waiting on the folks that she used to beat out in these roles. Could you imagine
third child
that?
in my really nice house. She was like, how horrible is that for her? It was terrible. I felt horrible for her.
It's a crazy
It's a terrible
crazy
thing
spot.
to watch your friend go through. It's a horrible, horrible thing.
A very tragic situation.
It's horrible. We used to lend her money. Every single one of her friends has lent her money.
Ma'am, hold on, sustain. The question has been answered. Next question.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hayes.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
Is Majax?
Good morning, Ms. Hayes.
Not today. Not on this one.
When she was
Not on
over at
this
your
one.
house, where was that? Were you close to her in Venice?
In the Palisades. I lived in Pacific Palisades.
Yeah, cons are a lot more prevalent now. Like, they're way better now.
Because you told us that
she did some
a couple
cons. We've heard
different
that
times
as well. But,
that
man, yeah, there's
she
a lot
never
more
gave up
cons go
hope,
around
that
now.
she would always
a lot
make
more of those old style B actors and actresses can make a little bit of a better living on some of their cult type celebrity status. The only thing I know that she worked with that would be like culty really was that Black Scorpion movie, but she didn't even play Black Scorpion in it, right? I thought she did. And that's a
the best of it. That she would, no matter what the situation was, she'd put on this game face and never gave up hope. Isn't that also the Lana that you knew?
Yeah.
Pardon?
Yes.
And in fact, during the 8 years that you knew her, for the most part, that's the Lana that you knew. The person that never gave up hope, had this goal, had this ambition to succeed in her chosen profession, and be well-known, perhaps be famous. She never gave up hope for that, did she? Isn't that what you just told us, Mr. Rosen? That she never gave up hope, she always made the best of the situation.
Game face hope. It's different.
Yeah, I don't agree with this at all, the prosecutor.
When you said she never gave
not
up
the way it
hope,
sounded,
you really
anyways.
didn't mean that.
Game face hope. It's different than,
And that was
done.
And that was your impression?
That's the way it was.
Let me start off by asking a couple questions, going back to when Mr. Rosen first had a couple questions for you. I hope I remember these right. I think there's some people that are taking notes that might remember, though. He said, so I'm going to be careful. I thought he suggested to you at the beginning of your
I should have breaks in this trial with a
testimony that you were best friends, and you said about Lana, not best friends, but friends or acquaintances. Is that correct?
I never claimed to be her best friend, no.
Pardon?
I never claimed to be her best friend.
Would acquaintance, good acquaintance, better characterize it?
No.
Friend?
We were very good friends, yes.
You were very good friends, but not best friends. Okay. Is that correct?
Yes.
And Mr. Rosen also, I think, started off by asking you that you were here because of his subpoena. Do you remember that question?
Yes, I do.
And your response to that was, yes, but I want to be here.
I came here to tell the truth, that's right.
And you want to be here. With subpoena or not, you wanted to come and testify. Is that correct?
I came here to tell the truth, that's right.
During the period of time that we're talking about, would it be correct to characterize Pumpkin Pie, or Pie, as I think you refer to, as your best friend or one of your best friends?
I talk to her every day, yes.
So Pie is your best friend?
She's one of my best friends.
Okay, all right. And you talk to her every day. Did you talk to her yesterday?
Yes, I did.
Have you talked to her today yet?
No, I haven't.
But you plan to?
I'm sure I will.
Okay, all right. So Pie is one of your best friends, and that's really how you met Lana Clarkson, through Pie, correct?
Yes.
And in fact, as you told me, I want to ask you a couple more questions about this. You told us that you met Lana Clarkson, I think, through Pie because of Pie's job. Is that right?
I met her through Pumpkin Pie, but not because of Pie's job. I just met her through Pumpkin Pie.
Well, but Pie's job, and let's talk about that for a little bit. Before Lana Clarkson's death, she dealt with a lot of these clubs, right? She supplied entertainment for clubs. I'm not familiar with that scene. You'll have to forgive me, but
right. You're out there partying every weekend. Feels like I know that guy.
I mean, she supplied entertainment.
Don't get too close to Phil's mouth.
She's a club promoter. I mean, that's what she does. She's a. I don't know. You'd have to ask her better how to describe her job, but that's what I guess she's a. I mean, she's a unique individual. You'd have to ask her how to describe her own job, but I mean, she's a.
Well, she's one of your best friends, right?
But I'm not her. It's not my job to describe her job. She's a club promoter, I guess.
And have you gone to lots of these clubs where she's promoting?
Yeah, over the years.
So you must have some sense of what that means.
She puts these evenings together where at restaurants where she has groups of people that she has come to these, and where she has live music and musicians or people from the music industry, and then groups of people that all know each other come together for an evening, and they all come together at a restaurant or whatever, and they all come together and we all know each other. So that's what she does for a living.
Please forgive me because I really don't understand this, but it sounds like she's kind of like a party promoter.
Like she's like an event planner kind of.
Oh, okay.
My God, are we still on this fucking question? She's described it. Literally just an event planner. That's all you need. She promotes parties.
So let me, during the period of time that you were best friends, or one of best friends with Pumpkin Pie. She did this at places called The Backstage and Tattoo, Key Club, Crustaceans, China Club, Barfly, places like that.
Yes.
And you attended events that Pumpkin Pie orchestrated.
Right.
As kind of like a party planner at these places.
That's right.
So Pumpkin Pie would gather together groups of women, her friends like you.
And men, and people from the music industry, and they all know each other.
And she tried to have them all show up at the China Club or the Barfly or whatever one of these restaurants.
That's right.
Okay, so you'd all have a great time and order and drink, and she'd get a cut of it, I guess. Is that the deal?
I guess that's how she makes her money, yes.
Okay, all right. So she was a party event planner at these places, and that's how, and you went to a lot of these events. You were one of the persons that Pie would call to say, hey, tonight's China Club or tomorrow night's Barfly, and you'll be there along with all of our friends and show up, right?
That's right.
Okay, and that's how you met Lana Clarkson.
That's right.
Through these events that Pumpkin Pie promoted.
That's right.
And throughout the period of time that we're talking about, it was really Pumpkin Pie was a much better friend of yours than Lana Clarkson. Wouldn't you say that? I mean, you talk about
in the beginning. I knew Pie maybe a year and a half, 2 years before I knew Lana.
Well, was there ever a time? Let me withdraw that and ask you this. You told us you talked to Pie every day. That was never the case with Lana.
I talked to Lana plenty every day for a while. You know, there was ebbs and flows in our relationship, and there was ebbs and flows in my relationship with Pumpkin Pie as well.
In finishing off his questions with you, Mr. Rosen asked about a specific period of time, the last month or so of 2002 into the first month of 2003, asked you some questions about your relationship with Lana Clarkson. Do you recall that?
Yes.
But isn't it true that she never called you during that period of time, that there's phone records that demonstrate that?
Do you want to know why?
Well, just answer my question. She never called you during that period of time.
Do you want to know why?
Ma'am, first just answer the question.
Yes, that's true. Do you want to know why?
Sure. Tell us.
Because I had just had a baby, and because I had 2 children that were about to go into rehab. I was a single mother of 3 children, and that's why.
So that's what Lana knew that, and she didn't want to bother you by calling you.
I was too busy trying to keep my children out of rehab. Sorry.
Okay.
Single mother of 3 kids, and I was running a company. I was a little busy with my own problems.
Your interior design company, and you, correct? And you also were promoting some kind of TV show too?
Yeah, that was long after Lana died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know where that came up, but...
Well, probably came up, and we're going to talk about it a little bit. You and Pie and Tawny Tyndall had a conversation at a restaurant about all of this. There was an interview, correct?
Yeah, that was long after Lana died.
Okay. And in that interview, there was a discussion about, I guess, a TV show that you were trying to promote. Well, correct?
That was long after Lana died and had nothing to do with Lana.
Well, okay, but is that a correct statement, that you were promoting a TV show?
I was working on a design show that had nothing to do with anything having to do with Lana.
And what was the name of it, or proposed name?
There was several proposed names. I was working on I was on HGTV working on a design show.
Okay.
So, and it had a couple different working titles, but it had nothing to do with Lana or anything having to do with this.
Did it ever take off?
I had a daughter that went into rehab, and I stopped working on it altogether.
But you had, and I didn't mean to press that too much, but the point, I guess, is that you have some experience in that whole entertainment business too.
It wasn't entertainment. I'm actually a designer, but...
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
But I mean, the TV show was, right?
I was working on HGTV, which is all about design, and they were filming work that I had done in design, so it's really not about entertainment.
Wasn't it called Recipe for a Disaster? One of the proposed...
Design disasters, okay. You know, like design projects that go awry.
Like places that aren't decorated well?
No, not like you know, when your house, a contractor comes in and your house gets messed up.
Okay.
You know, and then they have to come in and fix it properly.
The only point is it's a tough business, right? Being in the entertainment, and that's
It's
entertainment.
not entertainment, it's actually
not.
construction.
So there's no entertainment value to putting this construction on TV and people watching the construction?
I guess so, but you know, everything gets all turned around when we're talking about, I mean, I guess there's cameras in here, but it gets all convoluted when we're talking about this sort of thing.
Hey, she should have stayed on that. That was actually a good point she started to make and didn't keep it. The cameras that are in this courtroom right now, does this make this trial entertainment? Well, the answer is also yes. Actually.
Was it like that show, This Old House, where they show people fixing up
Things can
the
be
house?
true at the
Little
same
guy with
time
a
in so many
handy cam in
factors.
there. There's
Okay.
really nothing going on
All right.
entertainment-wise.
Those shows also fucking
All
suck.
right.
They're so addictive. Or they used to be.
But let's talk about that interview. You, on December 28th, as I understand it, of 2005, you met Pi and a defense investigator at a restaurant and had a conversation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember the name of the interviewer, the defense investigator?
Tawny Tyndall,
Do you see her here in court?
she's over there.
You want to identify her over there, there's lots of people.
I'm sorry, she's sitting in the first row with the long hair.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Your Honor. And your purpose for going to that interview was really just to lend moral support to Pi in this interview that she thought was going to be about Lana Clarkson, correct?
That's right, actually, I didn't know I was going to have anything to do with it. Actually, Pumpkin Pie asked me if I would go with her. To be her memory, actually.
So in case Pi couldn't remember
Will you be my
something?
memory?
I can't remember anything.
I'm going to use that on somebody. I need you to come with me because I need you to be my memory.
She'll get on the stand, she'll
I want
tell
you to be my
that.
brain.
She had a hard time
Sorry,
remembering.
what?
Actually, Lana used to be her memory.
Okay, and now
Wow.
unfortunately, you're her memory.
Yeah, Lana
Lana
actually
died,
used to
now
be her
I'm her
memory.
memory.
Lana and I
That's
used to
just
be
how it
her
works.
memory.
We're passing
So
it
what does
around.
that mean? Does that mean that things
my
that
memory, I'm her
Pi saw
memory.
years ago, she tells you, she
What
said
are you
yes, and you
saying?
remember them for her? Is that the deal?
That's why she asked me to go with her that day. I had no idea I was going to be roped into this originally.
So you would, during that interview, you would answer questions for Pi.
No, I wasn't answering for her, actually, at the time. At the time, I didn't know why I was going there, other than to just be sitting there. When I was sitting there, next thing I know, I'm answering questions. That was however many years ago. I had no idea there was going to be a trial. I had no idea I was going to be sitting here today. I had no idea about any of this. And Tawny can tell you that now.
Well, I'm just asking you questions now.
Yeah, I had no idea I was going to be sitting here now. If I knew I was going to be sitting here now, trust me, I would never have gone to that restaurant that night. Never.
Then Pi wouldn't have had a memory.
Not my problem.
Okay.
I got bigger fish to fry. Believe me, if you lived in my house, you wouldn't be sitting here today.
Well, I don't know if we'll explore that right now, but
Trust me.
maybe later. But I
If
do.
you knew my dad, you wouldn't be sitting here today.
But right now, I kind of need to ask you some more questions about this interview that you went to, and you were planning on being interviewed, correct?
No, I wasn't.
You went there to lend moral support for Pi.
Yes,
Is that
I
right?
did. Yes, I did.
Or did she call you up and say, "Hey, I'm going to be interviewed by
She's
this
out.
defense investigator in the in the Spector case, and you're kind of my memory. Do you mind coming along?"
No,
Did she say
actually,
that?
I happened to be at her house that day. I was actually at the beach with her that day. And Miss Tyndall called and said, "Will you come meet us?" And Pi said, "Oh, will you come with me? I have to go meet this person." I just happened to be at her house that day.
Wrong place at the wrong time. Kind of.
Story of my life. Oh, you have no idea. I I happened to be at the beach with her that day.
At the beach, you mean, because Pi lives down in Redondo.
She lives in Redondo Beach. We were at the beach that day, and we were sitting at her house, and Miss Tyndall called and asked her to meet her at the restaurant, and Pi said, please come with me, please come with me. So
she grabbed you and brought you?
Yeah, I went to the restaurant with her that night.
Where was the restaurant?
It was in Redondo Beach. I don't remember the name of it. It was somewhere close to her house.
And you met there, what, around 5 or so in the evening?
Somewhere in the evening.
Right. Had dinner?
Yeah, there was a meal involved.
Anybody have any drinks?
No, not that I recall.
Pie?
Not that I recall. I don't remember. It was a meal. It was like a sandwich or something. It was nothing special.
And so as this interview started to take place between Ms. Tyndall for the defense and Pi, you started piping in as to what you recall.
Yeah, we were just talking.
Or because you're kind of Pi's memory, when Pi couldn't remember something, did you jump in and try to help her out or help Ms. Tyndall out and recall what happened?
We were all just talking. It was just a three-way conversation. We were just talking.
And at the time, did you understand or did you know that Ms. Tyndall was working for the Spector defense team and, there have been charges filed and there may be a trial pending? Did Ms. Tyndall tell you that?
We were all clear what was going on. It was an interview. We were, I was clear that it was an interview, but there was no imminent trial at that particular moment. And clearly, that was a lot of years ago, and look where we are now. It was a long time ago.
Well, it was December of 2005, so it was a little more than 2 years. Well, the trial's
a long
lasted.
time ago, yeah.
Okay. Ms. Tyndall didn't tell you that there were trial dates in the relative near future from when your interview was, did she? Did she tell you that?
Well, I don't remember what she told us, but it was technically a long time ago.
But you understood from Ms. Tyndall that charges had been filed. She was a defense team interviewer.
Yes, we were clear.
You got to let me finish.
I'm sorry.
And she was there to try to find out what you recalled about the subject she was going to ask you about.
Yes, we were clear what was going on.
Okay. Did Ms. Tyndall ever tell you, once the interview started and you started answering, and so did Pi, that, wait, I need to interview you separately. I really do. We don't want any cross-contamination, so to speak, of memories, even though you're Pi's memory. But did she ever say that to you? Yeah. That I'll withdraw the question and start over. Did she ever say, I need to interview you separately, not together? Did Ms. Tyndall ever say that to you?
Here's over.
Did she?
I'm sorry?
Okay. Did Ms. Tyndall, during this interview, once you started answering questions and Pi answered questions, did she ever say, stop, I need to interview you separately, not together?
No.
Okay. She never suggested to you that the perhaps more appropriate way to interview witnesses is separately, not as a group?
I'm going to object. The objection is sustained.
Thank you. So Ms. Tyndall continued to interview you both, right?
Yes.
And she'd throw out a subject like Lana's relationships with men, correct? For example, you talked about that in that interview, correct?
Yes, we did.
And you both started answering, right?
Not at the same time.
Well, no, but you would jump in, and as you said, sometimes your Pi's memory, Pi couldn't remember something, so you'd answer for her. Is that right?
Well, we both had the same recollection of the answers.
Well, I thought you told us that Pi didn't remember anything.
Wait.
Thanks everyone for hanging. We got a wheel to go still.
No.
Excuse me, I'm going to object. That's argumentative.
The way the question was, it's sustained. You may rephrase it.
Well, I don't know if you...
We both have the exact same recollection of the facts.
You do?
We do.
Because you talk about it on the phone every day with one another? Is that why? How do you know that?
Objection is compound.
Okay, I'll withdraw.
Thank you.
How do you know that you both have the same recollection? You didn't both go everywhere and have the same experiences with Lana Clarkson every day of the year, did you?
The times that we were in the same place at the same time, we have the exact same recollection of the story.
So why did you tell us earlier that Pi doesn't remember anything and you're her memory? Isn't it true that you popped in and you answered all these questions for Pumpkin Pie during this interview?
Excuse me.
Isn't that right?
Excuse me, objection. Compound.
I think by the time the question was finished, it became uncompound, if you will. So I think
I'll try to uncompound it. Isn't it true that you jumped in and answered a lot of these questions for Pumpkin Pie when she couldn't remember anything because you didn't have a memory?
According to object to that question, because the form of it calls for a conclusion.
overruled. You may answer.
Pi forgets, and she needs to be reminded. I guess what I'm trying to say.
And you were there to remind her, even of things that you didn't remember, or excuse me, even of things that you weren't there for, but she told you about.
I didn't say that.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. How
can I remind her things that she wasn't there? She wasn't there for, or that I wasn't there for.
You talk every day, right?
Right.
And I'm sure from time to time, Pumpkin Pie over the years told you things about Lana. Isn't that right? On the phone, you talk every day.
I can't remind her of things that I wasn't there for. I'm talking about things that I was there for.
So when she didn't answer the questions, you answered them for her. Is that right?
No, that's not what I said at all.
Isn't it true that, at least for what you recall Lana Clarkson, that you found her to be a kind and good person? Isn't that true?
Lana?
Yeah.
She was amazing.
She was a kind and good person.
She was wonderful.
And that she had lots of hope. She was funny. She was
hilarious.
And she never gave up that hope, did she? Did she? She never gave up the hope. Through the whole years that you knew her, when she was trying to be an actress, trying to get into this business, had ups and downs.
Wait. Please don't interrupt until he finishes his question. It's very, very difficult for the reporter when you're talking over each other. It's really hard for him. You may proceed.
I thought I heard you say to Mr. Rosen that she never gave up hope.
That misquotes the witness objection.
It doesn't, there's been various statements at various times. I don't believe it's in this quote. She may answer the question.
Let's go to it. Is that true? Did you say she never gave up hope?
She had a game face, is what I said. And she had hope that she could get parts, but she was depressed. Very, 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 very depressed about a lot of things, including her work, including men, including children, including a lot of things like money, where she was going to get her food, where she was going to get her jobs, where she was going to get rent.
Didn't you also say that you made the best of every situation? Isn't that what you said?
I didn't say she made the best of every situation. Did I say that? Did I say she made the best of every situation?
I don't know. I'm hearing Paige's turn, so I'm going to ask you to take a look.
I think it does misquote the witness.
There have been let me interject. There have been various statements that the witness made at various times during her testimony. So I don't believe it misquoted her. It depends on at what time she gave a specific answer. You may proceed.
Mr. Rosen asked you some questions and at the same time showed you some photographs of Lana Clarkson's cottage. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I'm going to ask, I think we can do this, Your Honor. CD's got it up here. Defense 8 Bs.
Octuple B? Octuple B. Thank you.
8 top.
We're in new territory for me, so forgive me.
Anyway, we have that one up here. And I'm going to, do you recognize this photograph? Mr. Rosen showed it to you earlier.
Yes.
It's the inside of Lana Clarkson's cottage there on the Venice Canal. Right?
Yes.
And you told Mr. Rosen that you'd been there many times, correct?
Yes.
And this looks like how it was normally kept, correct? Lana Clarkson was a pretty neat and tidy person, right?
She was anal retentive, so I don't know.
Pardon?
She was anal retentive.
She was
Yes.
I know people who are very neat too, so yeah. I'm going to ask the highlight part of this. In this photograph, in this photograph, there's like a poster board up there with messages to herself, right? You see this? And as you look at this, you see a lot of I guess signs or posters, words up on the board. Imagine the future, power to use your hands and create, live your own dream. And these are hopeful, inspirational kind of messages, correct?
Yes.
That was Lana Clarkson, wasn't it? That was the hopeful person who had a dream and was trying to live it out through the ups and downs that you knew. Isn't that correct?
Objection, foundation, time.
All right, put it into, towards the latter part.
Well, you were during the years that we were talking about, after 2000, 2001, 2002. Were you in her cottage and saw this board up on the wall that Mr. Rosen said? You said you recognized the cottage.
Well, excuse me, that's a compound wash.
Do you recognize this board, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
Okay, was that board similar to the way it was in 2002, for instance?
Yes.
All right, you may proceed.
And the board has hopeful, inspirational message on it. Aspire, imagine the future, live your dream, your destiny. Right? That was Lana Clarkson, correct? That's the Lana Clarkson that you knew.
Objection, foundations to time.
I already set the time. This was the board appears as it did in 2002. So therefore, the time is recent enough that it's an appropriate question.
That's Lana in work mode.
I love that. 8 whole months, almost full term. That's right. You're carrying a Buzzed the baby. Welcome in here, and thanks for hanging around. Let me give you an little anniversary gift here. Just a little
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Megan. Thanks.
This was in her home next to her computer. Isn't that correct?
In work mode, sober, when she's trying to be, focusing on her work, not Lana loaded when she's all crazy. Totally different.
This is Lana's home. This is where she lives.
Interesting witness.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank you. Redirect.
Thank you. We'll just leave that.
The defense bringing some folks in. You know where they're headed with their arguments?
Just say, let's take a look at this board. When was the first time you went to the cottage?
Thanks everyone for hanging and giving your opinions as well.
95, 94, 96.
I don't know, when Ashley and Campbell, when my older daughter was probably, my older daughter's 19 now, when she was probably, I don't know, 10, 9?
Okay, long before 2002, correct?
Yeah.
Long before February 3rd, 2003, correct?
Yes.
All right.
That board wasn't there, by the way. The computer was on the other side of the room.
When did that board first go up?
I have no idea.
It was long before 2002, wasn't it?
Yeah, that board wasn't there. Yes, sorry.
And the signs that you see, the signs that Mr. Dixon just read, for example, imagining the future, live your dream and destiny, star, other things that we see up there, those words, those signs on that board have been there for years. Isn't that true?
I don't remember that board. I don't know. I don't know.
It didn't just go up in January of 03, did it?
No.
It didn't go up in December of 02, did it?
No.
It had been up there for a long time, right?
I don't remember that board. I don't know. I can't testify to that. I don't know.
And so you don't know when Lana put those pictures and signs up on that board,
I don't know.
Exactly. All right. I want to go through. By the way, she had been living at the cottage when you first met her, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, and she continued to live at the cottage up until her demise, is that right?
As long as I knew Lana, she lived there.
Okay, so that would be the full 8 years, right?
She lived somewhere else before, but as long as I knew Lana, she lived there.
Okay, fine. Thank you. You can take it down, Sudie. Thank you. All right. Mr. Dixon went over a number of things with you, Ms. Hayes. I want to revisit just some of those, okay? Mr. Dixon asked you about whether or not Lana ever gave up hope and whether or not she always had hope. And you started to say she had a game face. And you answered the question, Mr. Dixon's questions about hope, by explaining there was a difference. Those were the words you used. I want you to take a moment, if you will, ma'am, and explain to this jury what you meant when you answered Mr. Dixon's question that way.
Could you ask it one more time?
Of course. He asked you whether or not Lana always had hope, ever gave up hope, and you said it was different because she had her game face on. Would you explain what you meant in terms of answering that way as to the concept of hope that she had?
Lana always wanted to believe that there was always something would always come up. But for example, it was dismal. It was completely dismal.
And that's her conclusion.
No, she's explaining what she's explaining.
I'm explaining what I meant.
Wait, ma'am, hold on. Thank you. She is explaining terminology that she used. That was the question. She may answer. You may proceed.
Thank you.
I'm confused. Can you ask the question one more time just so I can explain it properly?
We're talking about the subject. Mr. Dixon pressed you on several questions regarding did Lana ever give up hope? Did she always have hope? And you answered the questions by saying there was a difference because she had on her game face versus a different situation when she didn't have her game face on. Let me ask it this way very simply. When you answered the question that Lana had hope, would you explain to the jury what you meant by that in terms of when she had her game face on and when she didn't have her game face on? That's all I'm asking.
When she had her game face on, for example, when she had her game face on, she could make anybody believe that she was happy. She could light up a room with her smile. She could make anybody believe that she was the happiest person in the world. When she didn't have her game face on, she was the saddest person. She was the most, she could snap. She could absolutely she could fall apart. For like the time she was in my house, she just crumbles. She just is this like melty little person. She was huge. She just is this just sad, pathetic person who just doesn't have any hope at all. We're all like that. I mean, I can do that just the same as her when she's that girlfriend, where she just crumbles into this little piece where she just doesn't know what to do. And I don't know how else to explain it other than the fact that she doesn't know what else to do and she just doesn't have any answers. I don't know why that's so hard to believe, where she just was looking for answers.
Oh shit, my bad. Fuck, my bad, guys. The fajitas. Hopefully that wasn't going for too long there.
But when she had to go get her makeup on and go to work and make it all be okay, that's what she had to do to survive. And Lana could do that. Lana could make everybody believe that she could survive because she had to be strong like that. That was what Lana could do.
And in that meeting at that restaurant in Redondo Beach, the name of which you don't recall, you told Miss Tyndall that she was losing hope rapidly, didn't you?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Dixon touched on another point. He was asking you about whether or not you were Lana's best friend, and I think you answered by saying that you never claimed to be her best friend. Is that correct?
That's right.
I think you said, though, that you characterized the relationship as very good friends, right?
Yes.
Define that for us, would you please? What do you mean by you and Lana being very good friends?
I'm the kind of person that if you're in my life, you're in my life. I'm a very intense person. If you're in my life, you're in my life on a very intense level. You know everything about me.
You're in my life, that means that I am now your memory. And I must float around through every part of life as now your memory.
Everything about you.
You're my memory. I'm your memory. Together, we will memorize all things together. We are best friends.
You know the intimate details of my life. You're in my children's
That's
lives.
That's what we call ourselves. Pumpkin Pie, Lana, Jennifer, the memory
It's very
crew.
intense. Lana and I knew, we talked to each other. We were out late at night. We knew everything about what was going on in each other's lives at that time. Pumpkin Pie and I knew each other very, very, very well. And Pumpkin Pie was her best friend, best friend. And we all talked to each other about everything that was going on in each other's lives. Late at night, we knew all the little icky details of each other's lives. So that's what I mean.
Okay. You also were asked by Mr. Dixon whether or not in the beginning you were better friends with Pi or with Lana. Do you recall that question?
Yes.
And I think you answered it by saying in the beginning you were better friends with Pi. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did that change as you got to know Lana and as Lana came into your life?
Lana and I shared the same sense of humor, so we had a lot of things in common that Pi and I didn't have in common. So Lana and I, bonded on a different level than Pi and I bonded on. So we had things in common that Pi and I didn't have in common, but we all sort of got along together like a weird little dysfunctional family.
So as you got to know Lana, as you took her into your life, she took you into her life, correct?
Right. We were like the tall bookends for Pi. Pi liked us because we were like the two. I mean, if you look at us physically, we were similar.
Now, Mr. Dixon also asked you about some TV show or something, and he was asking you about
your construction
how that came
job.
About.
I heard that you are a certified carpenter, and you are oftentimes in homes. There's cameras there. Now, don't get me wrong. There's cameras there, and they're recording something that we like to call a television show, a reality show, is being filmed technically, which is for entertainment technically. But you are a construction worker, are you not?
So let me ask you a few questions. First of all, did it ever happen?
I don't know what you're asking me. I'm sorry.
Mr. Dixon asked you about a television show. I think it was called Disaster for Design or something, or Design Disasters.
Me?
Yes. Mr. Dixon was asking you questions about that. You recall?
Yes.
That had nothing to do with Lana, did it?
No, it had nothing to do with anything. It was a design. It was a design project that I was working on that got literally shelved because of
your daughter,
of my children getting sick.
Okay, it didn't have anything to do with Lana, right?
No.
Didn't have anything to do with Mr. Spector, did it?
No.
And it has nothing. It had nothing to do with this trial whatsoever.
Absolutely not.
And by trade and by profession, you're an interior designer, right?
That's right. Okay. And if it ever got picked up again, if it ever got the concept ever got picked up again, it would still never have anything to do with this.
So as you sit here today, in July of 2007 on this witness stand, you've never made a nickel from that show, have you?
No.
Okay. Now,
absolutely not.
I want to turn to the interview at the restaurant in Redondo Beach. Mr. Dixon asked you a lot of questions about how that came about. And I want you to just take a moment and let's kind of walk through this slowly so that you can explain to us the interview and what happened. How is it that you happened to be with Pi that day?
I was at the beach with her that day when Miss Tyndall called, and Pi asked me to go with her and lend moral support. So she needed to go to the restaurant to talk to Miss Tyndall, and she asked me if I would go with her that evening.
Does Pi live in a beach town in the South Bay area?
In Redondo Beach, yes.
Okay, and she lives close to the beach?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys were at the beach that day, correct?
Yes, we were.
When Miss Tyndall called, did she call you?
No, she called Pumpkin Pie.
And when she called Pumpkin Pie, were you right next to Pumpkin Pie on the beach?
When she called Pumpkin Pie, we were sitting at her house. We had been at the beach that day. We had just gotten back from the beach.
Okay, you just returned from the beach. Mm-hmm. And being a good friend of Pi's, you agreed to go with her, correct?
Yes.
And so you and Pi, I assume you cleaned up from the beach and you went to the restaurant, is that right?
Yes.
Before you went to the restaurant, you didn't have any particular agenda, did you, for Ms. Tyndall?
I wasn't really sure what was going on, actually. I was a little unclear about the whole deal.
So when you got in the car with Pumpkin Pie to go to the interview, you didn't even really know what it was about, correct?
No, other than the fact that she told me that there was an investigator who wanted to talk to her about Lana. That's all she said to me.
Okay. Didn't say anything about the name Phil Spector, correct?
No, she just said there was an investigator that wanted to talk to her about Lana. That's all she said.
Okay. And you went to the restaurant, correct?
Yes.
You met with Tawny Tyndall, the young lady seated in the front row with the long blonde hair, correct?
That's right.
You were there?
Yes, I was.
Miss Tyndall was there?
Yes.
And Pie was there, correct?
That's right.
No one else?
No.
Okay. And did you sit down at a table, the three of you?
Yes.
And you chatted, correct?
That's right.
Was it a very formal interview or was it an informal interview?
No, we just talked for a long time. A long time.
Number of hours?
It seemed like a long time, yes.
Okay. When Miss Tyndall was talking with you, was she taking notes?
As I recall, yes, on a legal pad.
Okay. And did she in any way indicate to you that you couldn't be there or you shouldn't be there? She didn't, did she?
No.
And did you ever indicate to Miss Tyndall that you didn't want to be there?
No.
And did Pie ever indicate to Miss Tyndall that she didn't want to be there?
No.
So if you wanted to get up and leave, you could, correct?
Right. No, Pie just kept saying she was grateful that I was there.
Okay. Mr. Dixon asked you, isn't it true that Tawny Tyndall would throw out the subjects? Remember that question?
I'm sorry?
Mr. Dixon asked you on cross-examination the question, did Miss Tyndall, isn't it true that Miss Tyndall would throw out subject matters for you to talk about? Remember he asked you that question?
I don't recall that, but okay.
All right, well, let me ask you this. Who was talking about what happened? Let me ask this. First of all, who was asking the questions? Miss Tyndall?
It was a long time ago, I suppose.
Who was providing the answers?
We were providing the answers.
You and Pop, right?
That's right.
Okay. And after the interview was concluded, the two of you left, correct? You and Pop?
Yes, we did.
All right. And Miss Tyndall left, correct?
Yes, she did.
Separately, is that right?
That's right.
Absolutely. Lucy, happy Sunday. Merry Christmas.
Did you think you were doing anything wrong
We weren't
by being at that interview with Pop?
That's the truth,
Absolutely
CH.
not.
How are you doing today?
And one final question. You told Mr. Dixon that you came here to tell the truth. Is that correct? That was the
That's
answer?
right. Yes,
I have one last question. Have you told the truth here in court today?
absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Recross?
Just a couple questions. When you were answering Mr. Rosen's questions about the game face and explaining to the jurors what your recollection of Lana Clarkson's game face or hopefulness was, you said, I think you turned to the jurors and you said, we all have down times. We all have times when we are down and have some difficult times to go through, correct?
Yes.
I mean, I think you brought it up, but you mentioned your kids, and I'm not going to go into that other than to say any parent has up times and down times with their kids, right?
Definitely.
Children are very, or can be, challenging at times.
Definitely.
Work can be challenging. Careers can be challenging. People get up and they get down. Isn't that right?
Definitely.
And that's what was going on with Lana, too. Isn't that right? Up and down, hopeful, tough times. But basically, a pretty hopeful, as we saw from her board in her cottage, a pretty hopeful, inspirational kind of person, right?
She could be up.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Thank you. Redirect.
One question from here?
It's up to you.
But nothing Mr. Dixon just asked you changes your opinion at that time, the end of December 2002, beginning of January 2003, up until her demise.
Objection.
She was the lowest you ever saw
leaning.
her.
No, I'm going to allow the question. Go ahead.
She was the lowest that you ever saw her in the 8 years that you knew this lady, correct?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Thank you. recross.
Nothing. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you for being here. Subject to recall, you may step down. Ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind the admonition will be in recess for 15 minutes. Thank you.
Nice. Next, we're going into, starting probably next week, Detective Richard Tomlin, LA County Sheriff's, takes the stand for about 55 minutes. Would probably be Sunday. I think Tuesday I'm going to do something with Courtney Clinny. Again today at 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time on the Wrestle Plunge channel. I do have a new video coming out over there. If everyone could, when they see that, I probably will, of course, be plugging it, but if everyone could, give it the old like, give it a comment, and check it out, if that's your thing, I'd really appreciate it. That does help me out. I'm actually going to give you a link to the last video I did. It didn't end up doing too great over there, but if you'd like to give her the old check, get ready for the next one that's coming out a little bit later today. Good to hear, CH. Hell yeah. And everyone hung out here today, this morning. I really freaking appreciate it. We are going to continue down the old Phil Spector path, of course. We have a lot more left. Again, I'm going to figure out something. If I can make it work, I should have time to do something with Courtney Clinny and get something else together. Again, I want to watch the motion hearing where they were showing the footage of the dude throwing the knives into the pig. I think that would be pretty interesting. And yeah, with Christmas week, I think Christmas is Wednesday, so yeah, I guess keep an eye on everything. I mean, I plan on doing a Murder Church Clinny show Tuesday. I just realized that's Christmas Eve, but I guess we'll just see. We'll see. Keep your eye on everything on socials, especially on X. That's where I do the majority of my updates at, and just thinking in general out loud. So if you're not following on there, you definitely should be. I'll put the link in here real quick. Appreciate all the support and everything and everyone that's coming through. And we got a wheel to spin here. Let me do that real quick because we got some stickers to give away. Let me get this off so we can have some visual. Hell yeah! Let me get this up here again, everybody. Appreciate it. Good luck, everybody. See if this thing is gonna hold up for me. Look how wobbly it is. Ooh, pretty good spin. Pretty smooth spin. I think that's pumpkin. I'm not sure. No, that's a Pokemon. Yeah, I think that's Pokemon. Yeah, I think that's Pokemon. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Pokemon done. Shelly done got some stickers up in this son of a bitch. Let's fucking go. Yep, that's right. And I believe that was because Forrest gifted that out. So fuck yeah, congratulations, Shelly, getting in here and get you some stickers. Let me get you on here before I forget as well. Fuck yeah. Love it. Boom, stickers. Congratulations.
Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? Hanging, banging.
This is gun country.
We don't mess around in gun country. Y'all know that now. Maybe it's a Willgate. That was no Willgate. That was a Pokemon all the way in. She's going to get some more stickers. She's going to get one of these guys. She's going to get one of these guys. And she's going to get the classic Meowder Church also. She'll probably get a handful, actually. One of the coolest people in here. Hopefully you're having a great holiday. Also, Shelly, I'm sure I will be talking to you again. And I need to watch that movie. Maybe I'll watch that today if I get a chance. Gattaca? Am I saying it? What was the name of that film? Yeah, Gattaca. 1997 film she was telling me to watch. I think I'm going to watch that. Maybe I'll get a chance to watch it today. Ethan Hawke in there, 1997. I love science fiction and sci-fi movies like that. So, hell yeah, everybody. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate it. Slothy Sleuth Investigates coming through here. What's up? What's up? Thanks for coming through here. We are at the very end. I'm getting ready to shut her down. We had a great Murder Church, another great episode. Yeah, just keep an eye on everything this week. We'll see what's going on. I would assume that there will be a Feral Friday. Keep your eyes on Thursday. Now, that one is up in the air. I will say that because I know for a fact on Christmas Day I'm having a Christmas thing, and the next day I think I'm having a Christmas thing. So Thursday's show will be up in the air. Okay, so just keep an eye on everything because I don't exactly know what's going on myself, my fine friends. So trying to keep it all together is what I'm doing. So happy Christmas. we're joining into the new year. We'll see if I do any kind of a special going into that. Last year I tried to do the all-night movie marathon, except it was a Twilight Zone marathon. We just did a couple of episodes of that on this past Friday. So, I don't know. I'm rambling. I'm just getting it here. Have a great day. Love you guys. Have a great start of your week, a rest of Sunday. And again, 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time, Wrestle Plunge, my second channel. You know, any kind of help would really help me out. It kind of gets us into the algorithm. If you get some likes in there, some shares, some comments really freaking help. Comments are actually the most important thing on any video, just so you guys do know. And watching the entire thing. But also, if it's not your thing, if you're not feeling it, I get it. I totally get it. All right. Love you guys. Let's go.